I hear a different window. It's my window. Yeah, we can talk. Vigilante Wednesday on the first episode of the Primetime Kings with myself, 24/7 Fusion Media, and Fat Steven Seagal. I appreciate everybody who's showing up. I see the weight down. I see Robert, aka Cold Era. So yeah, thank you guys for joining us with this grand experiment where we tried to talk about a lot of stories that you probably didn't hear throughout the week. I know these are stories, a lot of which I didn't really hear about throughout the week, and shed some light on it. So how are you guys doing?
Well, this is Fat Steven with another bleeding eardrum because I love that intro when he screams Vigilante Williamson.
Vigilante Williamson, another episode.
I can't articulate it like you. You sound like an R&B song, and all the girls are just taking their panties off by the time you finish your intro.
Yeah, it's not. That's not the reaction I get, unfortunately.
We'll work
or fortunately, because this is a post Me Too era, so it's not always good when girls take their panties off.
You just gotta sign the paper before they throw the panties at you.
Yeah. Like, hey, did you consent to these panties? I need a consent form, a background check. It ain't the 80s anymore, sweetie.
That's good. Then we got Super 24.
Yeah, I'm just want to tell everybody thank y'all for being here. This is like what Vigilante said. This is the first episode of the Primetime Kings, and what we do is we cover a lot of the lesser talked about articles and different things that are going on in pop culture that some of the bigger channels and even ourselves don't get around to covering on our channels or or in our videos. And I figured it'd be good get these smart, intelligent, great YouTubers together and have a nice conversation and talk about the things that folks don't normally get around to talking to when it comes to pop culture, because there's a lot of things that kind of get swept under the rug, and we're gonna try to make sure that doesn't happen and shed some light to a few of these articles and things that are going on. So that's what we're here for.
So what you're pretty much saying is we're covering the stuff that gets drowned out by everyone doing the same video, the same topic, the same point of view, but a different type of voice, and you're missing the stories that could lead something big later on.
Right. Yeah. And we're missing kind of the meat and potato story. Like the first one, the Marvel recasting Luke Cage and Iron Fist, that was I don't really care about Iron Fist as much, because I thought he probably should have recast, as I said pre-show, but just recasting Luke Cage, and it's just almost as like, even though they do still have the same Matt Murdock as far as Daredevil, and they are going to use him. I've heard he's supposed to be in the new Spider-Man. We'll see. But it's just the Netflix Marvel was always kind of canon and kind of not, and it's kind of like, all right, this is the end of that Netflix Marvel completely. It's over. And that kind of sucks.
Oh, I can't wait for female Daredevil. Let's get going.
Oh man. Elektra in the series was terrible. But go ahead, 24. I didn't even cut you off.
No. Actually, you're right. She wasn't that great. She wasn't like Jennifer Garner was more memorable than she was, and that's. I guess that's.
I just remember her being so annoying. She just felt like an annoying little sister.
Yeah. Before we get in there, 24. Your mic, your volume out is really low. It's really getting hard to hear you. So you gotta blow that shit up, bro.
Yeah, turn the mic up.
All right.
Now call me a dirty boy.
Wait Down says most of those Netflix Marvel shows are better than most of the Disney films. I liked the.
There we go.
There we go. Talking about getting the panties off.
Yeah. Oh my.
I
Yeah,
like
there we
the
go.
first couple
All right.
seasons of Daredevil and Punisher, and
Yeah,
I
actually,
even said Luke Cage. That's some good stuff.
Yeah, and actually, it's crazy because even Iron Fist, he had the look, man. Like if he was really knew, like I heard that the actor didn't even know martial arts. So if he was like
I could tell.
a dude with if he was a dude that had his look but knew martial arts, and instead of having the mustache and goatee, like really shave and just really have the look of Iron Fist, he could have pulled it off, man. But even
I could
then,
tell he didn't know martial arts though. I could
right.
tell.
So
It showed.
Man, I'm looking at the chat. Yo, what's up to the Wake Down? Catman Didi Myers, my boy Robert Cold Era. What's up, man? Everybody subscribe to them. They got great channels, so thank y'all for being here, man. And yeah, that means a lot to us. Appreciate y'all.
Yes,
I'm not wearing
appreciate
pants.
everybody here. It's more information than the crowd needed. But it is what it is. I may not be wearing anything. Who knows? You never
My
know.
size has just been in question. I'm gonna put my pants back on.
Oh, Lady Miss, how you doing? That's the lady of the house, Lady Miss.
Shout out
There
to
you go.
Miss.
Oh, she loves the Conan, even the Mr. Bean Conan.
Oh, she's awesome. Hey, thank you for being here. One thing I noticed with the Netflix Marvel is that from what I'm hearing from Disney, they're actually going to keep Jessica Jones, they're going to keep the Punisher, and they're going to keep Matt Murdock, which is Daredevil. And so I guess here goes Iron Fist and Luke Cage, they're gone, and they're also going to keep the dude that was the Kingpin.
Okay. I'm glad to keep the Kingpin.
Yeah, because they couldn't find a better Kingpin than him anyway.
Vincent D'Onofrio played Kingpin.
They could, but Roseanne's I think been banned from Hollywood.
No, they need someone who can act. She looks the part. They can use her as the Blob. That's what they'll use her for the Blob. When they do the Blob over, Roseanne can do that.
Every time we say Roseanne Barr, does he take a shot? Do you think we can make this show get really funny?
Oh no.
Yeah. So the thing is, look, do you think Jessica Jones is better than well, yeah, she's probably better than Iron Fist, but you think she was better actress or a better character than Luke Cage? And
I like Luke Cage. Huh? What'd you say, Steven? What say you?
Well, she is. She's better for one reason. Season 1, Jessica Jones, she was fantastic because she was dealing with trauma. She had the Tennant play off of, like, David Tennant was the main villain the first season, and it played off so well. Luke Cage, I like the first season a little bit more than the second, but it was still the same.
Right.
It felt like they didn't give his character enough hero.
Right.
No, he was actually a character that they kind of got hit with the woke thing. You guys are in the chat are right. Michael Clark Duncan, who was the Green Mile guy, he did pass a few years ago. But I think as far as Luke Cage, rest in peace to my man.
I hate that he Michael Clark Duncan. I hate that he passed, man. He was, I heard he was all around good dude, man. Like,
was a good dude.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. Actually, it's crazy. So you prefer Jessica Jones? That's interesting, man. That's interesting.
I really thought Luke Cage, could have gotten another shot because he had one of the first Marvel shows that got kind of hit with the woke thing because a lot of it was, he's a black superhero and he's doing it for the hood shit, and that really just made it just meander to where there was no real it was hard to really get to care. There was the villain who the villains seemed okay enough, but they weren't the writing on the show was weak. Clyburn Tynes is right.
Yeah.
The writing was very weak, but I wouldn't have put it on him.
He said the actor was very good. Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly. I kind of liked him as Luke Cage, but I didn't like the series. I mean, the first season was fine, but it wasn't that strong. It wasn't as strong as the other stuff. To me, the strongest stuff was the first 2 seasons of Daredevil. And Punisher was cool too, even though Coder, I actually agree with it. I think he was a lot better in season 2 of Daredevil than he was on his own show.
Right.
But it sucks that this whole era never really got to do, and maybe they will do it in the future if they're keeping a lot of people and not getting rid of everyone. But I really feel like the Netflix Marvel, and by them not actually crossing it over with the mainstream MCU, they kind of hurt it. I think they could have done something. There were plenty of opportunities. They could have ended up. To me, the fact that none of them were in Civil War or Endgame was did you really care about these characters? You know what I mean?
You know what's funny now that you mention that is the fact that in order to tell those stories, man, those stories were so big that they needed the whole MCU to really tell the story right. You know, they actually could have used them, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Inhumans, like even the like all the shows you just didn't give a fuck about, like the Inhumans. People didn't like that show. That show went for a season. Like I remember that show was supposed to have came out. I don't know if you guys remember. It was supposed to come out like in IMAX, and it was supposed to have been this thing, like this experience, and that never kicked off. And look, I mean, I don't know if Clobbering Times, I don't know if he remembers, but when they did put out that Inhumans show, it was supposed to have went, I forgot what movie or something. It was supposed to have introed. So basically, you supposed to have seen a part of it or an episode of that before the actual movie that you went to the theater to watch. And the thing is, they had cut that out, and they took it out of the whole IMAX experience because word around was this thing was a dud. So basically, they still put it out because they had to, and that's why the Inhumans was never anything. So that was, but that was still a group of people you could have threw in what was going on, because when you're dealing with something like Thanos, that's on a galactic level to where it's like you or intergalactic or whatever you want to call it. It's like it involves the whole universe and everything in it. But then you only got Wakanda and the Avengers and anybody in between fighting that fight. And then
same with Civil War. How do you do this without the Fantastic Four or X-Men or like I don't know how. Like
it's like a civil war between like 12 people. Like how does this work?
Yeah, I really, that's why I think Civil War was a very weakly, like it had interesting parts, interesting scenes.
Right. Exactly.
But the writing of that was weak, and it was very contrived, even their beef. It was like, okay, you can see that there were issues, but they had no real reason to come to blows. All that shit could have been handled like with a conversation.
Well,
right.
From my understanding, the Civil War movie in general, the whole storyline was weak sauce from the comic book, like only bits and pieces, and maybe the main theme of it. But it was more, they made the movie based off watching a bunch of their properties all fighting together in one big film, and they were trying to cash grab it in a way.
Yeah,
I didn't care about the story. Like honestly, like that was back in my day where like I was still like heavy into the Funko collecting, and I saw this like the Spider-Man with the shield, and there was like under ruse. And when you actually watch it now, and after you've gone through, let's say Loki or like the Netflix Daredevils and all this stuff now, and your WandaVision especially, you're sitting there and you're going, you can pick it apart and see where the quality of the storytelling and the interactions of the characters and their development is.
Right.
And then you can see how it just looks like a giant Space Jam New Legacy kind of promo file instead. It's all their heroes. I'm gonna cost them out, because seriously, what Warner Brothers did with that was just put all the properties together and made a giant info ad. Honestly, but it would be funny seeing the Looney Tunes in the Matrix movie. They could have done that and actually run with a parody series. But instead they used it for LeBron's ego. But it's the same thing.
That's a good comp. It is kind of like that. And honestly, I think Civil War is when I started to see, like, I don't know what's going on with this writing. I don't know if they actually care about the story, but yeah. It's about getting the cash grab.
No, you're right. It's like for instance, CW, they did the same thing. Like last year, I think it was the beginning of last year, February, March. They did that Christ on Infinite Earths thing.
Yep.
And now in the comic books, that's a story. That's a story that took.
Steven just started laughing it off.
I'm sorry, when you say that, the only thing that was good out of that was watching the one dude with the Kingdom Come Superman hair and suit. That was the only good.
Yeah, it was crazy, because it's like that's a story that took all the the whole multiverse of DC Comics. It took every hero and villain involved to tell that story, and all of a sudden, all you telling the story with is the handful of CW shows that you got, and you're trying to tell the same story.
And
trying to have it, and what you do is, instead of you doing it the right way, you start bringing in old actor and actresses from old shows that are like canceled or have just
Conroy. They insulted.
I was just about to say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Kevin Conroy. What's my man from Smallville? All they did was cut your favorite version of Batman and Superman that you grew up with. You grew up with Smallville? Oh, well, he's a cuck. Grew up with Batman animated series? Well, he's a cuck too. Enjoy.
It was Crisis on Infinite Cucks.
Yes.
Oh man.
Enjoy childhood being cucked.
And then you look around and then you see the 66 Robin, Burt Ward. He's walking Bat Hound. And they, like if you knew the kind of dog it was, you can tell that was Bat Hound. That's Batman's dog. So he's walking Bat Hound. Batman's dead. He's the only one left, and he looks up in the sky, and the world's going under. And I'm jumped up like, oh shit! I fucking threw the remote at the TV because I'm like, they're about to just have Burt Ward get attacked by whatever the fuck's on this show. So what does this mean for Does this mean that he died? It's like, come on, man. It's whack, man. It's just a whack because they killed the 1990s Flash in that. Like John Wesley Shipp's version of the Flash, he died in that in that CW crossover. So it's like fuck. So we get to see the end of his character. Of course, now he's playing Jay Jarrett the Flash, but as far as him having the Flash suit, he was Barry Allen. Back in 1990, and fuck, he died during that series. And I'm like, well, damn, you're sacrificing old characters that you guys used. And then they bought Brandon Routh's or whatever his name from Superman Returns from 2006. They bought him in, being Kingdom Come Superman.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, damn, you're bringing in all these elements, man. And that's pretty.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you did.
That was a complete cash grab. Like that was complete. All of those shows failed. Batwoman is failing. Supergirl's failing. Let's try to get everybody that ever heard of a DC property, and that's what they're about to do again. That's we can actually transition. There you go, smooth transition to the Batmobile, which I'm excited to see. And Flash's. Huh?
I forgot one thing. Can you quickly share? I have one thing I want to throw in quick. Oh, never mind. I'll do it afterwards. It's the one at the bottom.
At the bottom.
You see that? There you go. I did a comic cover for you guys quickly. It's on the 24 share.
Oh, 24. You got to share it.
I was going to say it beforehand, but I didn't want to insult the Infinite Cucks.
Oh yeah, the Infinite Cucks. Good line.
Sorry, It's right beside Vigilantes. You'll see like a.
It should be another screen you can click.
Just add quickly, then I'll remove it. You can go back to Vigilante.
Must be talking about this one.
Okay, there we go. We were talking about apparently Kingpin will remain cast. But Vincent D'Onofrio will keep it. But we thought, maybe Rosie O'Donnell. I think, unfortunately, I do want a Kingpin.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Not Rosie O'Donnell. Wrong fat bitch. Roseanne Barr. Wrong fat bitch from the 90s that's no longer relevant. I'm sorry. I got them confused. Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell will be
funny too. You know what? I have a question.
Crying in baseball.
Have you ever seen Rosie O'Donnell and Roseanne Barr in the same place at the same time?
No, one was the other one's stomach.
Nah, man.
Man, I need a confirmation they're not the same people. There's rumors about people in Hollywood just playing a different character.
You got Mexican Iron Man in your chat, bro.
Hell, Mexican Iron Man.
Hey, Mexican.
Hey, how's it going? Mexican Iron Man in the house. El Killy Chow. Roll Tide.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was so funny, just rotating someone's head.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. Your Batman's up.
You want to roll on to the next?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wanted to get to the Batman because we were talking about the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
They're basically going to try it again, but with Batman instead, with having the and I don't know. I heard at one point last year, I heard a rumor that anybody and everybody that had ever been in a DC movie at all was basically being cast, including the Nolan Batman. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I highly doubt it, but they were just trying to get any and everybody in.
Yeah, they were trying to go for Christian Bale. They were trying to go for everybody, and it looks like Michael Keaton stepped up, and then of course they went after Ben Affleck, and he decided to go ahead and go for it.
Yeah, rumors are he's gonna die, which sucks.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. But then, I'm hearing that might not be the case because so many people are demanding that he does an HBO Max show, or they at least give him a movie.
I really want him to do an HBO Max miniseries.
And the fact that if you kill him off, then you're gonna upset people more than make them go watch your show. Even if you do kill him off and say, "Oh, this show was like stuff," his adventures before he died, people ain't gonna watch it because they already know how it ends up. So why would you go through that, man? Like, I think it's a wrong move, man. Yeah, it's pretty interesting because you got The Rock, man. The Rock is actually
he might be the one person that can save the DCAU because he wants that Justice League to fight him and Black Adam. I mean, DC, and I'm not sure if this is going to be the thing where this movie actually opens it up, but their canon is just shot. How does Wonder Woman 1984 make sense in the canon?
You don't even need it. Literally, it would have gotten to the point where Max would have been sitting there seeing the vision of his son, could have been detriment, and what we would have done? Unwished.
Same thing.
Same thing. So Wonder Woman didn't need to be in it. She didn't need to rob Goldar from the Power Rangers set to get that gold armor. You didn't need to fight the Furby that we call Cheetah.
I want the butthole cut. I want to see Christian Wiig's butthole just like you did with Cats, but that's neither here nor there.
I want to see a puckered anus in my DC movies. I don't care what shade of blue you use. Put it in
there. And for those who like, why the hell you want to see Christian Wiig's butthole? I'm referring to Cats. If you guys remember, there was a butthole cut of Cats where they digitally animated everyone's butthole, and so I want the same treatment for Christian Wiig. Well, looked good for her age in that movie, but the movie was not good. It was kind of a fun train wreck. I do have like some Wonder Woman 84 was a fun train wreck for me. I know I'm the only person who agrees with that, but it's fun.
Actually, the thing that I thought was interesting about 1984 was just the fight scenes. Other than that, everything else was, and it wasn't a whole lot of fighting. So
no,
and the fighting that I'm referring to is not the last fight scene between Wonder Woman and Cheetah. It was like when she's running in the desert and she's trying to whatever. Yeah, like all that was interesting, but her against Cheetah, nah, I wouldn't want to see that again, man. Just those fight scenes beforehand.
Yeah, but that's just show like. That makes no sense with what happened in Batman versus Superman, where she said in Batman versus Superman, she made it like she hadn't been around people or like a part of like the superhero shit since World War One. Right. Like she had just went away. And so for her to have done that huge thing in the 80s and not that have no impact on anything, it just shows like the lack of care that DC has for their own canon. Like for them to even make the movie and not even try to account for that shit.
Right.
It's just like they don't care. They don't care about they don't even care about keeping everything straight. So here comes, this Flash movie, which only reason I want to see this is fucking Michael Keaton. And here's the Michael Keaton Batmobile. This is on set. Wow. So it's cool. It's iconic to just see. And you see his
you see his you could. Wow,
that's a super girl question mark.
Girl, yeah. Look at the Batcave.
Batcave.
Wow, that looks nice, man. That looks cool as fuck, man.
It does, but the back
looks expensive.
The cape and the red sleeves are effed up.
That looks clean as shit, man. Wow.
Yeah, to see the Batmobile, the classic Batmobile.
Right.
I mean, you talked about and you're right about the Supergirl. You can go back to her if you want. But you talked about one, or I said I want a Ben Affleck series.
Right.
I kind of want a Michael Keaton Batman Beyond.
Yep.
I kind of want that.
I heard that they're possibly working towards that, man.
But I mean, You got to do it. Michael Keaton is 70 or 69 or 70.
Right.
I don't know if you want to do a TV show or a movie, but if you're going to do a series of movies, that's a 5 to 10 year commitment. So that means he'll put him at 75 to 80 for the next 5 or 10 years. So you can't, fuck around and sit on your ass for like 2 or 3 years and let Michael Keaton go older. You see what happened to this Indianapolis Jones. Not Indiana Jones, because Indiana Jones is done after 3 movies, but they're doing Indiana Jones 5, and your lead actor has a fucked up shoulder because he's 78 to 80, and so you're going to end up in that same position with Michael Keaton if you wait too long on giving him his own Batman Beyond thing.
It's crazy. They were showing photos of Indiana stunt double. Actually, on a horse, riding through a town or some shit like that, and it was like, and it's because Harrison Ford, he's going to be out of commission, so basically all the stuff that his double can do, that doesn't take Harrison Ford to do, they're going to make all that happen, man. So they're going that route instead of just having him, film and go back and forth. They're just going to go ahead and. So they don't have to stop production. They're going to go forward with all the stuff that the stunt double can do in his place. So that way he can heal in return. And nobody has to lose any time or any work. They're still filming, but it's not him actually. It's his double. So, you shooting it from certain angles from the back or from the side and shit like that. You can't shoot him straight up unless it's from far away. And he got his head down a little bit to where you can't really make that it's whether it's him or not. But of course, with the same clothes and the same horse. Yeah, man. To
be fair, they were going to have to do that anyway. And they brought now Antonio Banderas is a part of the.
Yep.
So they
Antonio Banderas
did a rewrite, which I like Antonio Banderas. But like I'm not sure what role he's going to play. Like I already knew Indiana Jones 5 was going to be a mess. And that's a tangent. Here, but that just seems like a mega mess.
This could be a mega mess.
I mean, it's funny because Antonio Banderas for a minute was like a somewhat of an action hero. If you think about it, man, he did like the Zorros, he did
Desperado.
And Desperado, Once Time in Mexico, and all that.
Yep.
And I mean, he was in movies like that, and then and then he kind of chilled out. Before that, he kind of he wasn't doing those kind of movies, but he had a period where he was in, the Zorro's movies were like 3 movies, if I'm not mistaken. The Zorro's, like
the first 3 of them. I remember the first 2.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was maybe 2 or 3, and I don't know.
I know at least 2. I know the first one was a massive hit,
right?
At least for the time. For the time, it was like shit.
Because it was him and it was him and
was it Anthony Hopkins?
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins, and it was Penelope Cruz, right? Yep. Or no, Salma Hayek.
Which
I think it was Salma Hayek. It's been a minute.
I think you were right the first time. I think it was Penelope Cruz. I'll check. Because yeah,
and it was the first one was with Anthony Hopkins. You're right about that.
Yeah, Catherine Zeta-Jones. It was
Catherine Zeta. Oh my goodness, we were close.
You remember her?
Yeah, we were close, man.
Yeah, close. God, why did I think it was Penelope Cruz? I don't know.
But I'm thinking about Once Upon a Time in Mexico was one of those chicks, right?
Yeah, that was Salma Hayek.
That's why I got it all fucked up. All right, there you go. All right. So, yeah, it was like I say. So for a minute, he had he had his run in a few movies, man.
Yeah. So we will see with that, but let's get back to this this whole.
All right.
Mess of a movie. What are you? I've been rambling. Steven, what do you think about this whole Flash thing? Because this is a Flash movie, despite everybody else being more important.
I can actually sum it up real quick. I'm just trying to get it finished. For some reason, it's not showing up. But yeah, honestly, deep down, do you honestly care?
You know what? I see this fucking Batmobile. And I can't help it. They fucking work me. I know it. Yeah. It's like in a few months, the Lions are going to play. And for some reason, I still am going to have hope for them making the playoffs. I know they're not going to. But the fan in me sometimes just comes out. So do I care about the Flash part of the movie? No. But when I see this damn Batmobile and Michael Keaton's gonna be on set, I do care. Unfortunately,
Well,
I wish I didn't, but yes, I do. Goddamn.
Well, it's funny that I just thought about it. I don't even know why it didn't hit me earlier, but the thing about this movie so far is the director, Andy Muschietti, said in the video that I put out about a week or two ago about how when this Flash movie starts, the Justice League is going to have two idiots, which is going to be the Flash. He called them idiots, and I even put it in my video where
Sure did.
he even said it, like you heard it come out of his mouth, like it was him. He said there was going to be two idiots, and there was going to be a half human, half alien girl, and she was going to be the one to save, everybody. Like she's the best as ever, and them two were going to be like look to shit. So the thing is, people are wondering, is it going to be Michael Keaton and Ezra Miller, the Flash? And I don't think so, because in the current state of what the Justice League is supposed to be, I guess in this movie, I'm thinking it's going to be Ben Affleck. That's going to look like a piece of shit, along with his partner Ezra Miller and this new Supergirl. And then all of a sudden, when he runs through time or whatever the fuck the Flash is going to do, then that's when he's going to run into Michael Keaton down the line. But I think all of when we first see this thing kick off, when he's talking about two idiots in the Justice League, I'm thinking he's talking Ben Affleck and Ezra Miller.
God,
so he already talked bad about them like they were two buffoons. So that's something to kind of.
There's another thing you're not realizing here. I know the Batmobile is just to tease you to go see it, but this could also be a way of destroying these characters and the memories
Right.
they have held, whether it be Keaton's whole Batman franchise, except for Batman and Robin and the Batnips. And once they're done with Keaton, that's where they'll go next. Well, if they could, they would get Kilmer, but Kilmer's whatever. You know what I mean? They'll just go down the road and keep just saying you're not good anymore. Here's the new gen, and eventually we're going to reach a point where it reaches what was it, future state, and where all we get is a bunch of Flashes running around in wheelchairs and prosthetic legs, and it's going to be. You think about it.
It was a real thing, by the way.
Special Olympics Justice League, if you're looking at it from this point of view, because they're trying to push this whole thing. Whether it's already in the comics, it's already in some of the films. The thing is, I might go watch it, but I've detached myself from expectations of being good or bad, because once you do that, you're setting yourself up to look for either the good or the bad. I'd rather see it unbiased and develop my own scale. But yeah, it looks cool, but you know what that is? That's eye candy. That's a tease. That is holding a carrot out to the donkey. We're the donkeys to these people.
And you know what? There's 99% of the time I can have that perspective on things, but there's certain things. Batman, and like I said, it's the Lions thing. It's being a Lions fan. It's like well, maybe.
And then you're like, oh, that chick's hot. Oh my God, what's with the 70s bush? It's 2021. You're like, that thing would need a pencil. It's the same thing.
Oh man, and
sorry,
because part of me, thank you for talking sense. Part of me wanted to say, well, why would Michael Keaton? Because he, at least beforehand, he talked like he had apprehensions of even coming on board. He did that movie Birdman in 2014,
right?
Where it was like you could tell that was even though it was a movie, that there was something coming from him in that character. Like the whole premise of that was about a guy who used to do a superhero movie, and then now. Where's my bucket of Crisco? Shout out to Loki. If you haven't subbed to Loki and Clavering Times and Brightest Day, who gave a dope super chat about me on FNT. If you haven't subbed to all those guys, I don't know what you're doing with your life. And you got the Crisco Steven avatar. But like, where was I going? I went off a tangent.
Stop looking at my tits.
I can't help it. As far as like. Michael Keaton. He did Birdman.
Right.
The whole point of that movie is a guy who did a superhero movie, who wanted to be be an actor. He wanted to be known for being an actor. And since then, Michael Keaton has done. He did do The Vulture, but he did a lot of like art house roles and a lot of like really good acting. So my thought is, why would you come back to this franchise just to get cut?
Money.
Like you're right.
Yeah, they might have threw something at him that he couldn't. He's like, "Fuck,"
Let's look at Scarlett Johansson. Same thing. Money.
Money
That's like
talks,
it does talk, except if you're Jared from Subway. So
Oof.
come on. Hey, 24, can I share something quick? I can sum up pretty much what I care about Flash. Sorry. I didn't mean to be rude.
No, you're real. You're being real. You're talking me off.
Yeah,
like
go ahead.
I'm
I
trying
shared
to.
something. There you go, 24. That's
Oh,
pretty much
I'm trying
what
to
I think.
be pie in the sky. The choke point paradise. Never forget, Ezra Miller choked a pregnant woman, and there was no consequence to it whatsoever. No legal consequence, no cultural consequence. He was just still the Flash.
The choke
Well, look
point
at it this way.
paradox.
Let's go see. Let's go. It's funny. Let's go see W Flash Way if we're gonna go this for a certain expert. Let's not even include it. Like Grant Gustin now wants out, and I can feel why. We've seen it. Loki, Clobber, all of us were there when we were doing DC fandom live. And we
Yep.
were covering it. You could see on the
I
Flash
remember
panels
watching you guys.
how there was
watch
only
that.
one person unhappy when they were doing the interviews. It looked like she had resting. I'm the Team Flash face, and now Impulse is in there. I watched the episode. Impulse is in there, and the new Nora's in there. And you know what it looks like? Impulse looks like I hate to say it's like a
shit.
black Gumby with a fro. It looks bad.
He
The
looks
costume's
special
horrible.
needs.
Special needs is an insult to special needs.
Oh man.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Not only that, it looks like they're running in the cartoon from the 90s reboot. I don't know what's going on with the CGI in that show.
Yeah, I'm going to find it. CW Flash.
I made fun of Impulse, but yeah, I remember watching you guys cover that because I tried doing something for fandom when my channel first started, and it completely failed because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Thank you, OBS. But I remember watching you guys talk specifically about that, and I was in the chat because I hadn't watched Flash since season 2 or 3,
Right.
and you guys were just talking about how bad Candace was.
Oh yeah. Man. She was
And how much she's and it her. You guys were talking about how bad she was, and I'm watching her just be a bitch. I'm like, oh my god,
yeah.
why are you so bitchy?
It's really that bad, man.
Every time he's apologizing to someone, he's literally, it's like watching Picard in Flash. And I think that's why Grant wants out. It's no longer about the Flash and fighting villains. It's literally look at this 24. I share this to you right now. This is the costumes. Looks like it came out of Party City with a mixture of black garbage bag. But look at Impulse. Like these are glasses you get off Wish, for fuck's sakes. Look at look at Flash's costume, for fuck's sake. What the fuck is this? Air holes? You think you guys from Simpsons? You're gonna go faster with speed hole? I know it might be this is the worst seasonal costume ever. It literally looks like a motorcycle suit with a helmet. Like, you see what I mean?
They got the Flash costume right season 1.
Yeah, but look at Impulse. Like it's.
Yeah, it looks like they lost money in production, man. Like just everything from the costumes to the CGI.
There is a good one. Garrick did get his speed back. Yeah. Hold on, I'll show it quickly. I must get it popped in there. Let's do this.
Yeah.
This dude got his speed back.
Okay.
And the new season actually focuses on him, but then they repeated a storyline, and I'm going to go into right now. The reason why he is upset and having emotional turmoil is because Godspeed kills him. That's hit. Godspeed is Impulse's reverse Flash or Eobard Thawne, and he literally says it in the show. So they're reusing the same type of villainy, but they're not even delivering it in a way that is beneficial, in my opinion. And like going into a mindscape, this dude does. To find it's stop at season 2, season 3 if you have to. Go back to Savitar. It's I'm sorry, it's garbage.
I'm sure Grant Gustin wish he would have stopped at season 2 because his acting career is basically like
the Flash.
He's the Flash. If fucking Bestis Evar can't get a fucking movie role with her forehead, I don't think Grant Gustin has a chance of doing anything outside of Flash. And he wasted a decade of his acting career.
Oh, he's probably sitting on money like no tomorrow, but
I'm sure he is. But it's like, you're done, son.
Now, look at how the CW did that. Now apply it to a company that has billions of dollars who literally let a guy get away with choking a pregnant woman for going down that road.
Yeah.
And what they're trying to do is make him look like the best person ever in this movie just as another blanket over whatever he did in the past.
Yeah. Yep. Gina Carano lost her job for a Twitter post, and this guy literally committed a domestic violence in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Literally. There was no issue. It didn't matter. It didn't matter.
Yeah, man. That's terrible, man. That's fucked up. He's right, man.
You're looking at the carrot. That's what they do now. It's a carrot. It's the same
You're
way
right.
if we really see like the original Batwing, or like the Batcave might look good. They might try to do a replica from 1989, but guess at the end of the day, it's still another carrot. The same with Affleck. If you know someone's gonna die, you heard those rumors. Guess what? That means the carrot wasn't a good enough carrot.
Yeah. This is the next picture I want to see.
Hey,
This is the picture.
It's a
Hey,
tube of toothpaste with legs.
Hey,
That's
can we
what it
blow
looks
that
like.
up a little bit? Like enlarge it?
Let me
Hold
see.
your control. Hold your control button. No wait, no hold. No wait.
Oh, I know what you wanted me to do. Like this.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, but look at the cape and the arms ruin it. It literally looks like a tube of like that old red blue toothpaste. You know, the one that had different streaks of color.
So basically, the boots and the feet are going to stay blue. So I guess it's just a whole blue bottom, and the red is only on the arms and the
Looks like she's holding in a fart.
I was just about to say the fupa on this woman is wild. You guys know what a fupa is?
Penis?
Oh.
No. Fat upper pussy area.
Oh.
That little y'all all every man in this chat has seen a fupa. Probably close up and close in person.
Yo, I just learned something new.
What you need to do is turn this picture sideways and have that dude that stands on the runway with the two pylons, like no, from like Star Wars, where they're getting the X-wings to leave the hangar and they're waving them where to go with the yellow lights. That's what you need for the fupa.
Dee Meyer says that person looks like she don't even want to be there.
She doesn't. Okay, man. Can somebody explain? Because if you actually see her, she is an attractive young lady, right? What is the deal with making girl like it's the what's the girl? Kelly Marie Tran all over again. Somebody said that. I can't remember. It could have been Gary. I'm stealing from somebody. I don't remember who I'm stealing from. But it is that. It's like you take a woman who would otherwise be attractive to normal people, and you make her look as ugly as you possibly can.
Right.
You put her in the worst looking costume you possibly can get, and you style her hair shitty. She looks more out of shape than she does in regular clothes.
I heard that was what a lot of people, SJWs and everybody, was complaining about when it came to Black Widow, that they wanted her to be, that's why she had broke her face and everything, because they wanted to show, basically they just want, their heroes to be looking beat up or looking more like how She-Hulk looks like, so they basically they just want ugly women that are out of shape or whatever, or more masculine than a dude.
Like the Calvin Klein ad. Did anyone see that post today where they were showing the side of the building where they made a big Calvin Klein like the underwear ad, but it's literally an overweight woman wearing it, and it literally looks like it's promoting. It's not just the ugly woman you're talking about. It's also the obesity, and they're saying that it's healthy. No, it's not healthy. It's carrying your
healthy
fucking,
in any size. Telling me a 700-pound person isn't healthy? What's wrong with you bigot?
I'm sorry. If you need to drive 2 forklifts to the fridge to get a snack, that's not healthy.
Yeah, man. Someone struggling with weight. I legit struggle with my weight. I legit have to lose weight, and I really do hate that shit. I really do hate that you're pushing obesity as like. Listen, I don't think people should just be. You should just make fun of fat people and shit like that. But for fuck's sake, you can't like encourage this shit. You're encouraging a epidemic to continue.
Yeah, they want to continue. I think what I think it is they're here. I'm gonna like this is what I saw today on my feed.
Yeah, sure.
If you're gonna tell me that this is the way to promote healthy living by just putting someone in there as another billboard, I find this disgraceful. There you go, 24.
Yeah, share the billboard.
You know what it is? I think they're working together with all the burger chains so they can keep selling burgers. Does that look like a Calvin? Does that look like
Wow.
it's that's on the side of a building?
Wow. I speak my truth. Man, I've been saying this as a brother who likes women, who likes big women, who likes black women, like all women. Why are they have really, like, for a marketing standpoint, made like the meanest looking black women like the only black women you see now. Look at, like, she looks so unpleasant. She doesn't have a smile on her face. She's like D-line size, and I'm not joking. And she's in her underwear, and it's just like, why? Why do you gotta have this? Like, this is sad, man. This is sad. All the blood pressure issues, diabetes issues that the country, especially black and brown people, are dealing with, especially black people, and you just want to encourage it. And it's like, what the fuck?
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah. She's still a beautiful woman, but you should be promoting healthy lifestyle. It doesn't matter what you're wearing underneath. You're still going to sweat through your underwear. It doesn't matter if you're thin or not. Yeah. I just don't agree with the way their tactics are. Sorry about that.
No, I'm glad you showed, because they're doing. They're definitely trying to. Who said it? Something I missed it. Yeah, we empower women by turning them into men, or just making them ugly.
Oh, yeah.
It just shout out to SN441. Shout out to anyone in the chat that we've been rambling. I appreciate everybody.
SN441, yeah. Thank you for being here.
Yeah,
Glinser, thank you for being here. Also, Catman D.D. Myers, my man. Jesus. Everybody else in the chat.
Yeah, man. Thank you everyone in the chat. Glenser, doctors are overworked. They want people to die young. And then SN441 with the ether for everyone. All those adverts can't show the feet because they lost in the diabetes. I mean, they're literally encouraging diabetes with this shit, man. Like, I'm not saying it was cool to do heroin chic, right? That was not a good answer to try to encourage young ladies to be like bone skinny. That wasn't good either, right? There's a middle ground, right? You don't have to be extreme. It's not like these women are even curvy. Like, these women are like the to quote my man, Coach Greg Adams, the Pillsbury biscuit can type women, where they're like, the fat women with small breasts, small ass. It's like, oof. You lost the genetic lottery. And it's like, these are the women they're promoting. And they're not like modelists. They're not, they could be attractive, but they're not presenting them in an attractive way. And then they're doing the same with the actors. That's why I kind of stopped on this picture. I forgot her name. She's an attractive girl. If you see her outside.
Her name is Sasha Kaye.
Sasha Kaye. All right, let me see if I can.
The only thing I can see with this, with the way her body type is and why they were chosen if they're going through the body type, is that maybe the only message they're trying to give is that it doesn't matter how curvy you're not, you can still be a hero. But that's me stretching what kind of message they might be pushing. But she's still slouching in a way. She looks
so
frumpy.
Look
happy. She doesn't look happy in that costume. And it looks like she's wearing. Look, you know what it looks like she did? She dived into the pool after someone peed, and she's covered in the blue ink. That's what she looks like right now. It looks like the Twitter bird had sex with someone. That's what it looks. If you're not gonna, if the actress is so happy when they first announced her and said she got the part, she was happy. Then why not make the costume?
Look at this girl.
Happiness. Look at the one down there. Look at the one. Look
at this one.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's grandma underwear from Krypton underneath that suit. Look, and I know that's just the
stomach muscles, man.
Yeah.
Look at this shit.
It's
why would you take someone that looks like this and make her look like this?
Well, look at the rest of us too. Same thing. They don't care.
Look at this, man.
I have no problem with big attractive women. I don't, but don't.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's a healthy overweight, and then there's just showing an overweight, to say with fake hair, just to sell a product.
Thing is, her hair was always long. She had cut it like a cup, just like a.
Look at the one in the blazer top, right?
This one?
Yeah. No, up one, the beige one. To your right.
Beige. Sheesh. This girl is hot. You know what I mean? This girl's a fucking smoke show, and they said, you know what?
And then they turned her into John.
Let's do this.
Yo,
Who has that opinion? Who sees this and says, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna dress her like that.
Wow. Like I said, they and she and Dad cut her hair for the role, man. That's what's so fucked up. So she had the nice long hair and the whole shits, and boom. So they just fucked it up, man.
This is, to keep.
Does she have muscles though, or is that actually padding in the suit? Because
that's padding.
Okay,
that's padding. She looks like she has a skinny build. How much padding did they put in that fucking suit? I just can't imagine. I can't imagine like how. And yeah, Dee Dee Myers, aka the Catman, or I had it backwards, but yeah, they did probably make her cut her hair. Golly, that's what? That's legitimately sad. That's legitimately sad. To take a pretty young lady, and isn't this what we're supposed to be against? Isn't this what feminism is supposed to be against? Taking a pretty young lady and telling her how she can and cannot dress, and forcing her to look a certain way.
Damn.
Well, fuck. That's literally what they're supposed to be against, and that's what they're pushing.
But Vigilante, you're not understanding it. Those feminists that are pushing this are all the frumpy ones that want more frumpy, so they feel less insecure.
You're like, yeah, we'll make hot girls frumpy.
Feminism is actually, in a way, there are feminists out there that are actually, like you were saying, they're pushing for that. They want equality of all types. But then we got the other ones that are taking over for even going from the same relation as BLM. They have taken over and they're putting their own bias in. Look at my name's not Star. I'm not Starfire. It literally looks like a trash bag with Docker boots and the writer's head on it. And the art's horrible inside. The story's horrible.
Peer insert of the writer. Which, to be fair, I'll be slightly fair to Mariko Tamaki in this sense. She literally said in an interview that she had that story written a while ago, like outside of Starfire, outside of this. And when she went to DC, she pitched it and they said, okay, let's use it for one of our heroes. And that is Starfire was just picked out of a hat. So she already had this story of a girl who had a superhero mom and was angry. And then they picked Starfire out of a hat. So as much as blame as she deserves, and it's a ton, you really have to blame DC for pushing it because they allowed this. They allowed and enabled this self-insert for I'm not Starfire. And they, of course, allowed this shit. They're all for the frumpy agenda.
Yeah, now she's writing Batman.
Now she's writing, Batman. She's writing Detective Comics.
Oh, wonderful! Can't wait for Front Man.
Front Man. Apparently she's doing better than Tom King, which is not high praise, but it's like
Tom King just wanted to be pegged by Batman. That's why.
Yeah. There are people who say it's watchable.
Hollywood sending hot women into the Titanic iceberg. Yep.
Well, look at Powerpuff Girls. Let's go down that one. It got canceled and reshooting now everything because it was it's the same shit. They go too far where they finally realized, oh wait, we are being way too one way or another. They're not doing the medium because they're focusing on the small things being the bigger attribute rather than realizing it's still a fucking human being under this character. It's still a fucking human being. This was a character written as a human being form or whatever type of form. It is still a human being. They have taken the humanity out of a character and just made it a walking, fat, thin, tall, midget, whatever you want to call it, billboard. And then they attach one of our favorite character stories to it or an adaptation of that story to it and then get angry at us when we don't like it because what they did was forget that the person is supposed to have a soul and they're not writing anything with a soul. Development, growth.
And you want to know something else? And this is something we can't. There are a lot of people invested of making the right people mad, quote unquote. So there's a lot of like they care more about trolling us.
Yeah.
When we're leaning towards apathy. I mean, half of the reason this show exists is so we can not talk about the same thing everyone else talk about because we're starting to like, oh, okay, you're destroying another franchise. It's just Tuesday. You know what I mean? Yeah. But they really do want to pit like. The whole Taskmaster thing, where the girl said, "Oh, the Taskmaster's stronger than the male version." I'm like, "Bitch, you couldn't even be Taskmaster for real in the movie. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's not even.
You're
true,
not
though.
Taskmaster.
Well,
You
that's
just took off the mask in one scene."
Yeah, but think about it this way. Also, you're right though, Vision. Think about it this way: if the microchip breaks, what then they're no longer Taskmaster, right? Because it's all mind control, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Neither did I. I don't care.
I didn't even see reviews. I mean, I did see like streams. I saw when I think it was the BBC last week when Az Mahler and Neurotic were talking about. That's how I saw, unfortunately, Taskmaster's Taskmaster, so to speak, where you could see his wood and tell that that's a man. Ain't no woman, it's a man, baby, who actually played Taskmaster.
Yeah,
and then she's talking about,
yeah, it was actually a man doing all the stunts.
Yeah.
Yep, feminism.
It's just insane.
Yep, inclusion, diversity, from the waist up.
Subverting expectations, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's even worse. It's like there are females that could have been the. Like, what are you saying? Like, there are definitely like I didn't see the movie. I'm not sure what stunts they had them do, but like there are definitely women who could have been the stunt woman for Taskmaster.
Right.
What are you saying when you get a man to do all the stunts?
They could have hired Gina Carano.
They could have hired Gina Carano. She would have been perfect.
And then just replace the head. She has the body built. She could have been a Taskmaster. No.
She would have been absolutely perfect for what they wanted. Mm-hmm. And actually, you would think, remember, that movie was shot before the whole Gina dust up. So you would think they would have thought that in the first place. But they didn't. Because it's just like I'm convinced they're unwittingly or wittingly trying to prove that men are better at being women than women. That's why you have men winning beauty pageants. You have men dominating women's sports, and then you have men even playing the women's roles for the most part, and just CGing somebody's head on.
Wow, it's taking a step too far, man. It's fucked up. That's the length of where Hollywood is going with everything at this moment, and it ain't gonna stop there, man. It's plenty more of that to come. So,
well, it will stop. We're getting to the point now where people are sick and tired of even looking at another comic book movie franchise, and I believe if we're gonna look at it, Returnals will be the Tombstone,
right?
And from there. The next Spider-Man movie might be okay, might be great, whatever. But 2022 is when the Multiverse of Madness coming out. By that point, people are either going to have a little bit of recharge left or just say, okay.
I don't think that's going to do well. I think by the time that comes out, all the damage will be done. Doesn't that come out after Thor?
Or is it in between Thor and the Marvel and the 5 Marvels or whatever the fuck it's called?
Right,
Marvels,
and 3 months after that is when Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness comes out. So, the continuation of what happens from Spider-Man rolls right into Doctor Strange 3 months later. So,
okay. I'm excited. Are you excited?
No.
I keep hearing that Tobey Maguire Spider-Man is going to get killed off, man. So, I guess. And I heard that Andrew Garfield's supposed to be the person that's going to have that with strength comes responsibility talk with Tom Holland Spider-Man, since Tom Holland doesn't have that man in his life to give him that talk. So
man,
it's going to be interesting how that rolls, man. And for the simple fact that you're starting to see like the article I dropped where Spider-Man's going to have that suit that's going to be created by Doctor Strange with the mystic webbing.
It looks weird as shit. God damn. They're going to work me into a shoot where I'm almost going to be impressed by the levels of destructiveness. Like, this kind of links to what we were talking about with the Tim Burton thing. The Tim Burton Batman being in the Flash. You're going to bring Tobey Maguire back to kill him? Why? Like, why would you do that? Yeah, that's the big draw to that movie is Tobey Maguire.
So we're stuck with whatever they have. They're killing them off, so we're stuck with whatever they have.
Don't even bring him back then. But that's
They
not
can't
their
because
point. I know
people will
better.
reminisce and watch that stuff. That's the whole thing.
I
Though,
know
if we
better.
kill it off, no one will give a care because eventually we realize they'll never come back. If we end them now, they'll never have to come back, and they're stuck with whatever we tell them to watch next.
Yep. And then we get the cash grab off of the strength of the return. Oh, man. That's sad. That's sad. I guess I don't know what else to say about this. Did you want to move on to the I had the Clerks thing, but we could talk about something else if you guys
Transformers, can we please talk about something happy?
Yeah, let's talk about something positive. Let's talk about something positive.
I honestly feel like I just killed everyone in the chat. We all did.
Because you're being logical and shit. And it's like people want to I'm trying to have hope. And there's no hope to be had. But maybe there's some hope here.
Maybe I'm not saying there's no hope. What I'm saying is don't put hope in expectations.
You're right. You're right. And Catman, that's where I'd rather him not be back. If you're gonna just say what Keaton, don't bring these characters back unless you're gonna do something with them.
Right. I agree. But I think I think Keaton. I think they have some plans for him afterwards. So
I think they should have on the Marvel side or Sony technically they should have plans for Toby. If they really wanted to cap off that universe, they could. If they wanted to do a Spider-Man 4, like referencing the original Spider-Man Raimi verse, they could bring Raimi back. They could bring the whole gang back and do something special if they wanted to.
Well, I heard the whole gang is coming back for that new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah,
so
Alfred Molina and Willem Dafoe is supposed to be
right, and then you're supposed to see Kristen Dunst or whatever her name is,
Kirsten Dunst,
Mary Jane. Yeah, you're gonna see her, and of course they already got James Jonah Jameson.
Because they
got him back.
Yeah, because he's never really left the role. He's been playing it in cartoons or wherever he could since then. He hasn't really left. He's been the voice. He's almost as iconic as a voice actor as J. Jonah Jameson as he is as a regular actor because he's been playing it the past 20 years. Golly. But hopefully, this Transformers thing looks a little bit more like hopeful. So this is something to talk about to kind of inject some hope into the chat, into the people. Leaked Transformers Rise of the Beast set photos offer first look at Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. So this is going to be like Beast Wars related, if I'm correct, right?
Yep, it is. They're supposed to be going into South America, where there's a lot of jungle and everything, and that's where, and then the whole part of how it all comes together is what's leaving everybody stumped. Like, how does everything work out to where you have the original Optimus Prime, you got Bumblebee, but then you're gonna have Beast War versions of them because you're gonna have Optimus Primal, you're gonna have all these other versions, and you don't even understand like where is it coming from, like how does this work? And that's it. I heard it's supposed to be like a multiverse of Transformers in order to make this kind of thing happen, but it's supposed to be a prequel at the same time. So
no, it makes sense. Let's look at the Beast Wars cartoon back in the day. Beast Wars came first. What happened is they went, through an event and ended up on Primal Earth right after Teletran 1 crashed into the volcano. They find it later on. So they could go down this road. And what we're actually looking at is both Optimus Primal and Optimus Prime. And that's an evolution movie at the same time.
Right. And there's also where there's supposed to be the Predacons. And the different ones from the Beast Wars in the movie, so they're gonna even bring the villains too. So it's gonna be a mix of some shit. Don't even know how. Like I said, don't know what to expect from it.
So they're going with thank you, Twitter. So this is the actual. They're going with a more classic looking Optimus.
I like that Optimus.
Yeah, me too.
I do too, and I hope when he's actually his robot form has looks more classic because I know this is. I don't know where this exists in the Bayformers canon. I don't know how canonical it is to that because I heard Bumblebee was a reboot. I didn't see it. Yeah, I'm with you, Easton Burkholder. Did all of these companies sit down like, you know what we're going to do for the 2020 multiverses? Everyone likes multiverses. Let's all do multiverses all at the same time, so we can all confuse the shit out of normies and piss off OG fans all at once. Multiverses. But yeah, let me see. These the only set photos they have.
Pretty much.
I guess that's it. I'm interested in this. I mean, I only like the first Bayformers movie. That's the only one I like. I thought the rest were just too much, and even that was kind of silly, but it was fun. It was a fun, silly movie, and they're all even still pretty fairly fun. But I am still kind of interested because it's cool to see. It's cool to see the Beast, the Wars version, and I hope this is cool. I hope that they don't screw it up.
Yeah, me too. Because it's supposed to be coming from it's supposed to leave off from where Bumblebee left off. So it's like,
Yeah,
so what does it turn into at this point when you just adding all these other elements when all we had was him and then we saw Optimus and I was like, well, what happens now? And I heard like Mirage and some of the other ones are supposed to be in the movie too. But then, of course, their Beast Wars versions are supposed to be popping up as well. So I don't know, man. It's, like I say, just wondering how it all fits in and how it all works in together to make a coherent, or something that we can understand and kind of go with is beyond me, man. Because again, this is not taking place hundreds of years ago. This is something that's taking place like in the 90s, or so, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
so
it's supposed to still be a prequel,
right? But then, but the whole premise of the Beast Wars was it was hundreds of thousands of years ago, or a million, or whatever. This is old times. So this is so it's like you're doing something that was happened a long time ago. You're making them take all that take place now, or like within the last back in the 90s or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that fit in at? Because it's the 90s. This ain't 100 a million years ago or whatever or whatever the Beast Wars originally took place in. So how does it fit into today's time? But this is supposed to be the 1990s, and then you still got Optimus Prime and everybody else there also. So the only thing I could think of is a multiverse kind of deal where they all show up at the same time. Or maybe
either that or time travel.
Right.
Maybe that's the only has time travel been, because like I said, I checked out, I saw the second one and then somehow saw the weird one with fucking Marky Mark, but I haven't really been paying attention to the Transformers.
Well, I know the last one was supposed to, or the second to the last one or whatever, supposed to have been where they deal with King Arthur and Knights of the Round Table kind of deal. So and I mean, I'd be real, after I stopped at the one before that because it was already, once I seen Devastator, I was upset that they couldn't. Yeah, when all the construction robots came together and they were all beat up and it looked like a big old robot, and they were trying to fight that, and I checked out at that point, man. Because Devastator was actually pretty cool he was the first of the robots to all form to be one big robot. And they put him in the movie and he just looked like 5 beat up ass cars joining together to form one piece of shit. So it was like, all right. So, it was like, I don't know. It wasn't fun to watch no more for me, man.
Yeah. Oh, man. I want to be excited about this though, because something has to be good, right? Some of the time everything can't be terrible all the time. That's not. Hey, Lady Miss. Like, even if you're trying to miss every shot, you'll accidentally make one, right?
That's true.
I'm hoping, because nobody's perfect, so you can't be perfectly terrible. Yeah, multiverse is
hoping that it's not as bad as what it could be, right?
Yeah, and also because the Bayformers, like I said, it's not highbrow art. It's not like, oh my god, you ruined the Bayformers. Like, whatever. And yeah, Glenn said Hollywood has to become the real Devastator.
Last night, fucking Dinobot, fucking shit.
And I mean, these articles are, basically talking about what's showing up, but it's not explaining how it's going to happen. So I guess it's all about when you see it.
You want
Man.
to do good Transformers? I agree with Chris Gore that he was quoting his friend. Why don't you just have the Vin Diesel crew from Fast and the Furious driving Transformers and just go with that crossover? Because that would be cool.
That would be a smooth crossover.
Because then he has more than one family. He has the Autobot family, and he has his family, and nothing can beat two families.
Right.
That's not a bad idea because honestly, I kind of felt like, especially in the late 2000s, early 10s, they were kind of the same franchise anyway. They were very over the top. You didn't show up really to think. That's probably why they're doing all this. Like, nobody cares about these actual stories. They just care about seeing the set pieces, hearing a few jokes, and just seeing the crazy cool shit that we can do with CGI in 2021, or whatever year it is. Right. It's not like somebody, people aren't breaking these stories down. Nobody's breaking down the fucking Bayformers one like it's The Godfather and trying to get the themes and shit.
Right,
like just it's something you watch. You enjoy some. It's they're popcorn movies. They're dumb, turn your head off popcorn movies. Now Transformers can be a little bit more than that as a franchise, but we talk about the movies themselves. That's all they've been. So honestly, a crossover with Fast and the Furious. You said Chris Gore said that's not a bad idea. I'm surprised it's not one they thought about.
Well, they probably will. Eventually.
Yeah. It would be interesting. I think people will go see that. I might go see that just to see what happens, right?
Just to see a chance of sitting on Vin Diesel.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen after this? And they're doing Transformers, right? We're going to get a GoBots movie.
Yeah, somebody said, Glenzer says, a matter of time before they wreck GoBots, Voltron, and Ultraman.
Oh, wow.
Hollywood is going to run out of material. They're going to have to go...
Imagination.
Well, they're not that. They're either going to steal from games or anime or other countries. Because I don't know. They're destroying so much property. They're not creating any, In the 5 year, 1980 to 1984, we had more new properties than we've had in the past 20 years.
Of course, yeah. They were dropping so much new shit back then, and a lot of things were clicking, man. I mean, people were, but it was a different time to where all the new stuff was. It was an exciting time, to be adventurous and to take a chance.
Yeah,
and I guess for as many things that were popular, there were just as many things that had failed too. You had Transformers and you had the GoBots, and then so I mean it was still nostalgic, but some things weren't as popular as others. But you had a lot of people taking chances, and even in comic books, man, and people were taking chances on diversity and a lot of other things. But it was coming. It was coming from a different place, man. It was coming from a different place, and the the ideas behind it were different. It wasn't motivated into some dumb shit like how things are right now. It was on a different level, man.
But I mean, and Pop Culture Republic says they'll run out of adapting properties before they think of something original. They're out. What property could they come out with? They're doing when you're doing adult versions of the Powerpuff Girls, you're out of ammo, man. You're done. Because you literally can't get a property going. They're redoing Turner and Hooch. They're out of ammo.
I saw
They're out of ammo. They have their shooting blanks.
Shit, they redoing the Toxic Avenger, man.
Are they?
Yeah, I did videos on that too, man. Yeah.
Oh man.
They got what's his name? Peter Dinklage.
Oh man.
The dude from Game of Thrones, little man.
The smaller. Yeah. Smaller.
And if I'm not mistaken, he's actually the star. He's the Toxic Avenger. So how does that work, man? Jesus. So they got him, and they have a whole cast of people that are actually going to be a part of that movie. I'm talking about big stars. So it's shaping up to be something with all the big names they got tied to it.
Yeah, I unfortunately with using Dinklage, they probably are 2 or 3 years too late. Cause if they did this in 2018, he was like the guy.
That's
you know,
true.
you saw him everywhere, just outside because of how big Game of Thrones had gotten. And now after, you know, Game of Thrones doesn't have that same ring. It's just like, oh yeah, that's the show that failed. And I didn't even watch it, but that's what everyone thinks. I've been in YouTube. I remember seeing I can't remember what the fuck the video was about. That had shit to do with not. I think it was a sports related video, and somehow Game of Thrones was brought up, and it was this long thread telling people not to watch Game of Thrones.
Wow.
It because that you know was such a mainstream thing.
Right.
That got ruined. This is not, you know, not even really for wokeness, just for incompetence.
That's true, man. Yeah. And you know, they did have some woke elements to it, but it wasn't it was just a brewing, man. And you know, but it took, you know, yeah, man. It's a shame, man, because now they're trying to go back to the well, man, and that well's, you know, has run dry. And you know, they I already seen pictures of the animated series that they're coming with, you know. So I don't know who's going to be watching this, and I don't know who they're making it for. And they probably think that they still have an audience there, and that might not be the case, man. Because I'm hearing from a lot of people that they're not going to go back and watch anything else related to it. You don't even, you know, even the author, what George R.R. Martin or whatever, he's not even finishing his books. So
He'll never finish them.
He can't. Every time he finishes a page, he needs another napkin. Just uses the one he just wrote. That's what happens.
No, the truth is he did finish it, and then woke happened. He's like, oh my god, I don't want to get yelled at. So, and then he threw out whatever he wrote and started from scratch.
You want to hear something really funny? Y'all remember that MODOK came out and no one talks about it or cares?
I do remember that. Did it come out like 2 or 3 weeks ago or something like that?
Yeah, Patton Oswalt came in, and then he voices MODOK, and no one even gives a shit about MODOK.
God, what is that on Disney Plus?
No, it's Hulu, but that's how forgettable this shit is. Now we're reaching the superhero, supervillain, we're reaching that point.
Man,
it sucks.
Why did they even make that thing? That's when you know it's a disaster. Nobody noticed that even existed. I did see it, but I didn't see it. But I saw like that it happened, but I saw nothing on it, and I didn't care. I want to see fucking Patton Oswalt playing MODOK and Robot Chicken.
The premiere
teaser,
I watched it, and then it was just like, I'm done when you're talking about MODOK getting excited about a mailman coming to the door. I'm done.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, I was gonna say it quickly. Like, where you come up with all these stories, but right away it's like we're trying to look for the good in it, but then we're automatically swayed by the bad because we know how these companies operate. It's like it's so hard to find the positive hope in things when we already know we're already going to get backhanded. Even when we don't get backhanded, we're already apprehensive because of it.
Yeah, and I mean, I do think with that. Part of it is us. We've all done this now over a year, or me over a year. I know you guys maybe a little bit longer. So there is a little bit of like becoming like jaded almost, where if we explain this to normies, they're not always going to see everything we see. They're just not. Oh. But like we are, and there's a growing group that are. It's not like. I've seen fucking different channels talk about how bad Black Widow are that are not entertainment channels. Other channels I follow for other stuff talk about it. So it's not like they don't notice this, but they don't have that same apprehension. Actually, 24 I kind of want to see what you guys thought about the next story, which is the Clerk story, because that's something you could be positive on. I mean. I'd make the argument this is the only thing Kevin Smith has actually done well is the Clerks and the Jay and Silent Bob series. But they're apparently doing a third one. What do you think of this?
Oh, it's going to be all about their daughters or whatever kids they have taking over the door and how they don't want to take over their dad's business because it's going to be. Look at Clerks 2. And then look at how He-Man has been told to be alive. Now apply that to Clerks 3 and wonder how far Kevin Smith is willing to go and how far Kevin Smith will go.
Man.
Because we're talking about even the Donkey and Kelly show, for God's sakes.
I would like to say Kevin Smith fell far, but I think he's always been overrated. I think Clerks 1 is the only like brilliant. I like Clerks 2 and like I said, I like Clerks 2, like the first Jay and Silent Bob. I didn't see the second one that came out a few years ago. But that's all he's like. I thought he's one of these. There's a lot of directors that are overrated, or a lot of directors and actors and stuff that just came out at the right time, and they kind of get immortalized where he's not really that good. When you, I mean, a lot of people like certain movies I don't like from him, so I can't say too much. But Hey Makani, the recent stuff he's did and this shit with He-Man, I can't say I want to see Clerks 3. I would like to think this is something that he could do well, but I can't say I want to see it. All right,
let's put it this way: if this was Chasing Amy 2, it would literally be called Chasing Franklin because Amy would have had a sex change by now.
Chasing Andrew.
Oh my goodness.
Am I wrong on this? Because it's
no, you're not wrong.
Nah,
yeah, 100% on. Dogma. That's the movie
Amy,
a lot of people like.
Yes, it's me.
no, actually, yeah, because he had Clerks, he had Dogma, he had Chasing Amy, he had Mallrats, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. To be real, all 5 of those movies were actually pretty good. Clerks 2 was good. The movie that he just did like 2 years ago, that he actually did like a U.S. tour, and was like going into different cities around America and actually doing like the premieres, over and watching it with folks and then signing autographs and stuff like that. Him and Jason Mewes. And to be real, I think when it comes to his own stuff, the Jay and Silent Bob stuff, I think he knows what that stuff is and he won't go woke or fuck over that. But I think when it comes to everything else, and actually he's been pretty good with his own stuff, with his own Janus, like I don't hear people saying, oh, Clerks went woke and all this.
Yeah.
So it's like, his own Clerk stuff and Jay and Silent Bob stuff, he's good. But when it comes to everything else, fuck, man. That's all I can say, man. It's like, he treats his own shit better than he treats everybody else's properties, man.
Yeah. I'm hoping that, honestly.
Like he's still smoking weed in the movies. He's still getting fucked up, chasing tail, doing stupid shit. I mean, that's what he, dick and fart jokes and all that. I mean, yeah, that's cool. But it's like when it comes to like He-Man and everything else, or are you asking him his opinion and he's crying? It's like, come on, man. Like, what the fuck, man? Like everything's great and he's crying when he's watching the fucking Last Jedi and shit. It's like, dude.
Hold on. I need to finish crying before you finish that statement.
All right.
It was so beautiful, man. You made so much logic while I killed Orko and told Tila to pound A-Man from behind while breaking the sword and away my mic's gone.
Oh man. They do have a synopsis, so there's already a synopsis for this. So I do want to read it because it just looks interesting. So in Clerks 3, following a massive heart attack, Randall enlists Dante, Ellis, Jay, and Silent Bob to make a movie immortalizing his life at the convenience store that started it all. I'm like, seems kind of interesting.
But actually, that's kind of like, but that's what happened to Kevin Smith, man.
Oh, he did it? Yeah, he did have a heart attack, didn't he?
Yeah. So I was like, so when I heard the premise of that, I was like, why would he go there with that? But then he's probably inserted himself in there in that way, and I don't know, man. I guess I hope it's funny, man, because as far as what's that? Dante is the blonde-headed one, right?
No, Dante's the one that.
Oh no, it's Randall. Randall's the blonde-headed one. All right, so Randall. It took a while for him to come aboard to even make this movie, man, because he always felt like he was getting fucked over with contracts and all this and that. And I heard that Kevin Smith and then finally paid him off what he's been wanting for like the last decade or two, man. And then now he's cool enough to do this movie with them. So it took a minute to even get him on board to even do this shit because he didn't even want to do the last Clerks movie. And this is the killer part about it is this the only thing that ever got his ass famous.
Yeah, so, I don't really know for anything else.
Yeah, and actually there have been another movie or two, but it's not anything that we know of, man. So But if he was owed money, man, I guess Kevin Smith
Oh boy,
did what he was supposed to do, man. Paid him off, man. Now they're doing this.
well, it's good that he finally paid him.
Right.
Let's just remember the related story. His first trailer for Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe reboot for Netflix isn't overblown as He-Man's muscles, just as it should be.
Oh man,
You know the movie that Kevin Smith directed that had Tracy Morgan and Bruce Willis was actually a pretty funny movie.
Oh yeah,
I liked that movie.
I didn't
the
see
cop
that.
one, right? About the baseball card.
Yeah, about the baseball card. I thought that was a real good movie, man. I thought it was funny. And Kevin Smith said that Will Smith was an Bruce Willis was an asshole and he'll never work with him again. So I guess they didn't like each other at the end of that. So that was like a one-time deal, but it was a good combination between Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan. Pretty funny, that, man. Yeah, it's a good movie, man. If you ever get a chance to check it, man.
I have to check it out. What was it called? You remember?
I'm finding out. Cop Out.
Cop Out. Yep. Yeah. That's what it was called. Yeah, he just needs to stay with his own stuff. I really hope I hope just for goodness sake, literally, for the goodness of quality movies and quality entertainment, for that sake, I hope that Clerks 3 is something.
It was written by the Cullen brothers, though, so all he did was edit it and direct it.
What, Cop Out?
Yeah.
Somebody else. I mean, just because you know, I know writing, but they're really good. So,
Catman D.D. Meyer said he just needs to stay with his own stuff. Yeah, probably. Yeah, really does, man. He does, man. You know, plus he's better off doing his own shit. And the Glinster said that
you should just call the Kevin Smith story.
Yeah. That's interesting, man. Let's call it the Kevin Smith story. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And yeah, marketing. We had talked about Kevin Smith and Bruce Willis having a fallout over Cop Out. And is Bruce Willis a conservative? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either, man.
I don't know what people in Hollywood's politics are. Nor do I care either way. The one thing that did bother me about Kevin Smith was when he made fun of Prince. And he told a story about Prince. Because maybe he was a mega Prince fan. But it was like, hey, I know you're making fun of this guy, but it sounds like from your own story that this guy paid you a bunch of money, flew you out, and hired you for something. And because you were able to get out of sign an NDA, you just got to make fun of him. It's like, it's kind of a shitty thing to do when you really think about it. Even if the stories are funny, it's like, I know, Prince was crazy. He was eccentric.
Right.
But it's like, just Kevin Smith just always... Not always, but from that point on, then you started to see him get a little bit more woke, and then he started to crying. And I think the heart attack thing definitely impacted him because his health. He lost a lot of weight. But he seems like the type of guy that's always trying to impress whoever he's in the room with at that time. So when he's in the room with a bunch of execs, he's trying to impress them. When he's in the room with a bunch of nerds, he's trying to prove he's the nerdiest. He's always trying to please whoever he's in the room with at that moment. And he has a scumminess to him.
Right.
And I think it's becoming more and more apparent, especially with, it's hard to talk about him without talking about the He-Man, especially since that's a damn related story. But how he did the He-Man thing, he went after Clownfish, and they were a much smaller channel at that point. I mean, I think they were right around 100K, but still. So he has a scummy side to him, a very scummy side. I'm trying to look and see if there's anything really important in this, because these Deadline articles are really technical. They'll talk about, this is being funded by this person and that person, because they're, which I guess I kind of like about Deadline. They're very to the point sort of magazine, even if they are left leaning. They're like if you're interested in what's going on in Hollywood, there's worse places to fall than Deadline.
I mean, between them and like the Hollywood Reporter, they're a little bit more factual than the rest, but you got to be careful, with their shit too. So
yeah, definitely, they still have their slant. They still have a lot of slant, and they still cover up. and make. I mean, just like this thing with the He-Man, you can tell that they're holding water for it. I'm expecting a disaster with the He-Man. I hope I'm wrong because, godly, if they made He-Man right, that shit would really hit right now.
You know, and it's crazy. They were doing the live action He-Man movie, and the dude called his name was Centineo. His I forgot his first name, but he's actually a part of the Black Adam movie, and he was the guy that was going to actually be He-Man. And now he's playing Atom Smasher. He's playing the Atom Smasher for the Just Society of America. So, the live action movie didn't even fall out, and it didn't even come together, man. And it's like, fuck, man, what are they doing with He-Man at this moment? And now you see what the animated cartoon is being. And I know I dropped the article about what they were trying to do with him with the comic book, which, wow, I can't believe that they're just really. Man, they hitting He-Man in the nuts right now. And I'm talking about from that TV show to to this comic book that's supposed to be a part of the story of the actual TV show. They're not showing him no love, man, at all.
Man.
And talking about why he shouldn't be like, what's that, the King of Eternia or whatever the fuck? He shouldn't, articles, being written about why he shouldn't even be getting the power. But the thing is, his power is supposed to
make the show.
Yeah, and the thing is, He-Man's power is supposed to be actually inherited.
Mm-hmm.
So
his dad black, which doesn't make any sense. But like, I guess he's supposed to be light skinned and blonde. I don't know. Like,
that's what I don't get. I'm like, okay, well, if that's the thing, they show the granddad, but the King Randor, the father, what does he look like? And they don't even have no pictures of him. I've seen everybody else, and I haven't seen King Randor yet. So if the dad's supposed to be looking like Idris Elba, the way he looks in the Thor movies with the dreadlocks and salt and pepper shake hair and everything else, then what is King Randor supposed to look like? And that's the dad, and they don't got no pictures of him. But then we supposed to just be like, all right, well, He-Man's black.
It's just like, why? And actually, I was watching a Midnight's Edge video, and they were talking about it, and they apparently. There was a black fan on Twitter who said, I don't want this. And this is what pisses me off about this race swap days. There are a lot of black people who do not like this race swap shit.
Right.
Because it's a hand-me-down, and we're not getting original characters. All we're getting is characters that you're only going to use for this one reboot, and then after it fails, we're never going to see them again. And so the exec answered back, and I really wish I knew the context of this. So you guys check out Midnight's Edge video for the.
Oh, matter of fact, I did a video on that, man.
Did you?
Yeah.
And what the exec says something like, "Oh, well, we don't think."
Well, he said no.
New character.
Yeah, he said nobody's interested in the original black Master of the Universe characters. So basically, he's saying that the black characters that they did have back in when He-Man and all that was first created, basically they're not worth shit, and nobody didn't like them to begin with. So might as well race swap He-Man and the other characters that are more important that people did care about.
And one, is not true. Two, how can you listen to a fan is telling you, a black fan is saying, I don't like this, do that, and you're like, no, you're wrong. What the fuck? That's like saying, that's like you going to a restaurant,
right?
And you order something. They get your order wrong. You got the receipt. They wrote it right. Like, listen, this is what I ordered. Here's the receipt to show what I paid for. Look in this box. This is not what I ordered. And they're saying, no, you're wrong. You're like, no, motherfucker, I'm not. Like, I'm factually correct. I'm showing you the proof of me being correct.
Man,
you're wrong.
And that's. They're telling people, they literally telling black fans what they want. It's like, no, like hey, we want original characters or characters that are already like, no, you don't. Nah, you don't. You want a race swap. No, we don't. There's tons of evidence to prove that we don't. The actual money evidence of us not watching the shit should tell you, no, we don't. Nah, you do.
And coming from a white man's point of view, I think you should race swap everything because you want it deep down inside.
I do want a Chinese Black Panther now, but that's neither here nor there.
I want a midget Captain America.
There we go.
You know, it's crazy because I'll be honest, when I going through seeing friends and people, Facebook, Twitter, different things, you got to start seeing what, just being honest, when you look in the black community, man, a lot of people are behind this black Superman. They're behind all this other shit, and they feel like that's the only way they can get a seat at the table is by having these heroes turn, the black Little Mermaid. You got all these black folks. Oh, I can't wait. She's so beautiful, and
none of them are going to watch it. None of them are going to watch it. They're just. And you're right. If you go on social media, there's always the yes, queen. We made it. No, we didn't.
Exactly, man.
We're getting hand-me-downs. We're getting hand-me-downs. And none of them are gonna watch it. They're just gonna they're gonna upvote it.
Yep.
They're gonna
they'll talk
say
it up,
something positive,
right?
and
Right.
Never see it.
And then that's what a lot of things, man. A lot of people are more behind the ideas of what it is than actually supporting the property and going to watch it. Like, you got all the woke people, behind all the changes in Star Wars, but then when it came down to it, only the real fans went to go watch it, and when it came up to them supporting, their part of it, they didn't support shit. And
they never support shit.
Yeah, but that's the reality, man. The only people that supported it were the people that grew up with it. And then when it came there, the other, where all this shit is starting to be made for, when all of them, they're not the ones there in the theaters watching it. They're not buying the comics. They're not, they support the idea behind it and what it's supposed to represent. But then they're not sitting there spending their money on it, and they're not watching the shit. They're not going to the theaters. They're not buying the comic books. They're not watching the cartoons or playing the games or buying the toys. But they'll upload it on Twitter and all the shit that don't cost nothing. It doesn't cost anything to heart something or to retweet, and that's all they are. They'll support it in that way, but they won't support it in any other way. And then when we start supporting it because they start making it for them, then all of a sudden we're the bad guys. So it's interesting how that works, man.
Yeah. Never forget, Birds of Prey, this feminist, iconic movie, the majority of the audience still were men. Because there were men who cared about the DC universe who wanted to see it.
No, I haven't watched it.
Nah, I'll never see it.
Skywalker either.
I'll never see it. Hey, 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser. Shout out to Flavor Flav.
Yeah, my man.
Says if no one is interested in the black characters, and take the opportunity to find a good writer to make the character more interesting for the public. And
Nick Weiser smart than a motherfucker. There you go, Nick. Shit.
But this is a good point. So a lot of take the Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man, and actually Black Panther. In 2005, did any normie care about any of these characters?
No.
Spider-Man, maybe X-Men, Batman, but not Guardians of the fucking Galaxy. Not Iron Man. I remember when they were talking about the Iron Man. I remember Black Panther was supposed to be in phase 1. Black Panther and Ant-Man were supposed to be in phase 1. And they got pushed back for forever. Nobody cared.
Yeah, even like Ant-Man and the Wasp, nobody didn't. Dude, you know what? They even made the Avengers movie and didn't even include them. That's how much people actually gave a fuck about them. And actually, the Wasp is the one that actually said, let's call ourselves the Avengers. She's the one that said it. So if all this woman representation shit, and she's the one that actually named the team, she didn't even get the fucking credit for it because her character was so unpopular that they cut her out of the original Avengers movies and didn't even give her the props that she deserves, that they would have went by how it went in the comic books.
Well, you know where we're going now, right?
How's that supposed to go, man?
You're talking about Avengers, right? You know how the whole Loki and the Hawkeye shit's coming, right? We can't wait till they destroy the West Coast Avengers because we already know White Vision is off somewhere. We already know we're getting Hawkeye and someone else from the West Coast Avengers. So guess what they're shitting on next?
Yeah, Black Red Star. Yeah, Makini Draws, Janet Van Dyne, one of the original founding members of the Avengers. Yeah, and
like I said, it was her that even called out the name. That's why she's the one that thought of the name of the Avengers in the comics, man, back in the 60s, man. And boom, you saw how they treated her when they come out the Avengers. They don't even want to show her Ant-Man. So it's like,
yeah. And there's no talk of any new Ant-Man. That's like totally totally forgotten about.
Yeah, it's a 3 Quantumania is coming.
Oh, they are doing the third one on that.
Yeah, they are, and it's supposed to be introducing Kane the Conqueror, and you might see Fantastic Four or something come from. I don't know, man. It's all this shit, man. They're trying to, and then Loki was supposed to help with that also. So between Loki and what's supposed to happen in Ant-Man and the Wasp, you're supposed to see all this other stuff that's supposed to introduce Kane the Conqueror and Fantastic Four. I don't know, man. It just seems. I'm starting not to care, man. That's the hard part.
24 and Vig, you have to think of one thing. Aren't you guys excited? At least we'll get scenes of Ant-Man making out with another multiverse variant of Ant-Man like Loki. I can't wait. It's gonna be
that might happen.
The Marvel Cinematic Orgy Universe. I cannot wait.
Man,
wow.
And you know what's funny about the damn Loki thing? They talked about that. Like that plot was out word for word, like 6, 8, 9 months ago. Like, yeah, there's gonna be a female Loki. She'll be better than him, and they have a little thing, and then nothing makes sense. And that's exactly what the fuck happened. Apparently, because I didn't watch it after WandaVision. I'm done. That was my last go at this D+ garbage. And thanks, Nick Weiser. We try.
Honestly, this is why I don't look at the news that much. And honestly, I give 24 props for going and finding these articles. But look, we're all reaching the same point of view. Hey, this looks great. And then we start analyzing, and we're right back to, I'd rather just eat a cupcake.
So I'd rather watch something that already existed.
B-Stars. I'll prop B-Stars. B-Stars season 2 was good.
Okay. B-Stars. And then MCU.
Yeah.
And this is the last article I had. I don't know if you guys want to talk about anything else. But since we're rambling about Marvel, what do you think about this? The MCU. This is a theory. This is not like confirmed, but we do know She-Hulk is supposed to come. We technically already had Thunderbolt Ross is Red Hulk, right? Yeah.
He was actually in the. He showed up in the first Iron Man movie. He showed up all the way at the very end when they showed Captain America's shield. At the very end of the first Iron Man movie, he showed up. Then he was in the Hulk movie with Edward Norton.
And they put him in Infinity War or one of the recent ones.
And I think he showed up in one of those too, which and it's the same actor. So so basically they're letting you know that he's still there, and the fact that they're going to be bringing in Norman Osborn, which is another key player into they might have this group of all the bad guys coming together to impersonate good guys. So, and if I'm not mistaken, that's the Thunderbolts, if I'm not mistaken, man. And that's going to be interesting too, if they decide to pull it off. But the thing is, with all the woke factor of how everything's going, I hate to see how it all turns out, man. There's nothing actually hopeful, man. It's just this year, when I saw it, I was thinking like, man, this is interesting that they're trying to bring this to life where, you might get because they brought back the Abomination from the Edward Norton movie to be in Shang-Chi.
Oh, I didn't know he was going to be in
Shang-Chi. Actually, if you look it up real quick, you'll see that they have pictures of if I'm not mistaken, it's the Asian dude that's in Doctor Strange's movie. What's his name? I forgot his name. He's like his homeboy.
Wong?
Yeah, Wong. Yeah, he's actually fighting the Abomination in a scene that I seen a picture of in the Shang-Chi movie. Yeah, you can look it up. Wong versus the Abomination.
So bring that over. I hear it at the beginning of somebody's stream. Jesus. Do we need Entertainment Weekly? Do we need any more ads? Or did you find a place to add more ads? Like a fucking porn site in the 90s, all these damn pop-ups.
Hey, is there porn on that?
There are less ads on porn. There's way less ads. Marvel chief confirms Abomination versus Wong fight in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. The reason it looks like that is because that is Abomination fighting Wong. Huh.
It is, yeah. Because they got and it looks ill when they show the picture. You see the Abomination, like he looks.
Yeah, here's the picture.
Yeah, he's big as shit. And then you see Wong like in the position to fight. I was like, oh shit, how would that go? And I bet you Wong is gonna pull some shit on him too. Like Abomination's not just gonna go in there and just fucking manhandle him like that.
Now, this looks interesting. Shang-Chi is one of the, I talked how I'm pretty much done with Marvel. It's the one that kind of interests me just because it looks like it could possibly be the one that's kind of outside of the main Marvel canon, and it looks like even give a little bit of love to some of the characters that have been left out of the universe. Real quick, now I'm looking at this. Who the fuck is Aquafina? I've heard of her only because of this, but I don't know who she is. I know the water brand Aquafina.
I think it's an Asian chick, if I'm not mistaken, man.
What is she, an Instagrammer?
I can't really.
A rapper?
Because I've heard of her a lot of times too, man. And maybe folks in the chat might have heard who she is, but if I'm not mistaken, it's an Asian chick that I don't know. She's famous for some reason, man. And I don't go with the hype like that, man. I'm just into what I'm into. But I've heard her name kind of thrown around in the last like 2 years quite a bit. But it's not anything that involves anything that I'm concerned about. That's why I don't pursue to see what. Look, they go. JM 2021 says Aquafina was in the second Jumanji movie.
So yeah, I never heard. So I guess she was in. She started off in Neighbors. She started off in YouTube back in the day, 2012. She had a song called "My Badge" I never heard of.
She's a YouTuber, man.
A YouTuber. She's just somebody. She's like. She seems like somebody who's just famous for being famous, and it's just because I had never really heard of her until this. Apparently, she was in Jumanji, like you said, Crazy Rich Asians, and Ocean's 8.
I heard of that one.
Yeah, I know that was a pretty big movie, but I didn't see it. Jeez.
All right, guys, got to run. Great stream. Catch you next time. Take it easy. Wake down. Take care, my brother.
Appreciate you being here, man. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, I don't know.
Bikini says, funny thing with Shang-Chi and a few other films I noticed is that Hollywood pool of Asians that they keep using are coming from that Crazy Rich Asians movie.
They are
the only way normies, characters because normies have all seen that, so it's an easy. Oh,
but I mean,
in this movie, I hope I liked him in this China maybe.
Damn.
Sorry.
It shows how stupid Hollywood is. First off, like I know normies watch that, but like, and it was a big movie like a few years ago, but I don't think it was that massive of a movie. And like, it just shows Hollywood still has this Hollywood mindset. Like, well, if they've never seen them anywhere before, then you can't bring them out. But it's like, no, I didn't see Crazy Rich Asians. So anybody from that movie, I've never seen before.
Yeah, me neither. Man.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, nobody's watching these movies for the actors anyway. Why not hire new actors and stop using the same actors and actresses over and over and over? We always make the joke. Anytime there's a race swap, Michael B. Jordan's going to be playing that. He's not really, but he's just like the only black actor they use. So we just assume he's playing everything. And if they got an Asian character, you're right. It's going to be somebody from Crazy Rich Asians. Crazy Rich Asians, if I could speak English. Sounded like a grandfather with his teeth knocked out. I don't know what the hell that was.
32. Let me see. 32 flavors of Nick Wise. It says $20 says Shang-Chi will do even worse on the Mandarin. I think it'll be the character of Fu Manchu, but with the Mandarin name. Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting, man.
And not only do you think that, Nick Weiser, China thinks that, which is why they don't want to have this movie, Shang-Chi. They think just because they know about the Fu Manchu thing. Apparently they're not fond of Fu Manchu. So they're not fooled by them using the Mandarin. So we'll see how that goes. Talking about Aquafina, she's supposed to be funny, but she's not. So she's like, is she like the Asian? I guess Lily Singh. I guess technically they're both Asian.
No, don't talk about Lily Singh. No.
Oh wow.
Are you a Lily Singh guy?
Yeah, because if I ever want to hear something that's not funny, I'll turn on Lily Singh. She was only given a show because they just needed to give some woman a show.
Yeah,
Aquafina
she
was
seems like
also in Ocean's 8 film with all the female.
Man.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, I saw that in her Wikipedia.
Ocean's 8.
I forgot that existed until
I did too.
now.
Wow, that was
Jeez.
a Sandra Bullock, man, and Rihanna, and a whole bunch of
It's
other
only
chicks,
3
man.
years old, and it's totally forgotten about.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
But yeah,
that movie was what, like 3-4 years old?
Only 3. It came out 2018. 3 years old. We don't even bring it up to bash.
No,
like it's not something we talk because we talk about what the fuck, Charlie's Angels and shit,
or Terminator,
or Terminator. This movie was so bad it couldn't even get that treatment.
Hell, it didn't even, like, we talk about Ghostbusters before we even think of Ghostbusters 2016.
Look at man, decent amount of scratch. If the numbers are to be believed, look, you got almost 300 million back. But I mean, who knows? It just totally got lost in the sauce. Like we don't. It doesn't even get bashed. It's just totally ignored.
My boy Nick Weiser says, if it ain't Michael B. Jordan, it's Idris Elba. Yep,
Yeah.
I agree, man.
Cast them for everything.
For real, man. Like they're the the marquee black dudes, the models, for whatever.
Yeah.
Boy.
But like cast more people. Like you guys don't really care about diversity. You're literally browbeating everybody, destroying every franchise for the name of diversity. But when there's chance to even use diverse people for diversity, you won't fucking do it. It's like what's the bitch actress that fucking had all these people's name on her coats who didn't get hired in Hollywood, but she had never hired a woman? Was it Natalie Portman?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Natalie Portman. Yeah,
Thor
jacket with all the gold writing, cursive writing.
Yep. This whore Thor, Natalie Portman, who was talking all this shit, and she has a production company that's made movies, and she's never hired a female director for any of it. So it's like,
we're supposed to be standing for females' rights, and then and getting them into Hollywood, and yeah, that's bullshit. I'm telling you, man, it's interesting, man.
Very interesting. Let's see. JM 2021 says Mandarin is being disrespected. I feel bad for the Iron Man purists, fanboys. Yeah, they definitely ruined him in Iron Man 3, and now they're doing additional disservice to him.
Yeah, because this is actually the second time they're bringing him out, and they fucked him over the second time, and it looks like they ain't gonna do no better. They did it the first time. Looks like they're not gonna do any better the second time. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. Me, I just it's crazy, man. Because if I'm sit here and watch any of these movies, it's just to watch a train wreck, man. It's and even then, like I have Disney Plus and all that. I'm not going to the theaters to watch it, and I don't even want to turn Disney Plus on to even give them that click, man, or that extra whatever they would get from me even turning on their
I'm the same way.
Their deal, man. It's like I don't even want to fuck with them like that, man. So I just would. I don't know, man. I ain't trying to be no hypocrite neither, man. I don't want to be the kind of guy to sit here and talk about this shit and not watch it. But at the same time, we know how fucked it is that it's hard for me to try to support it as well. So I don't know, man. I got to figure out how, for real. I got to honestly figure out how I feel about this and how I'm going to approach this, because I want to be honest and be fair and watch some shit, not be a guy that talks about it from a distance. But at the same time, it's going to fuck with me because I collect comic books and I read this shit and I know really what's up, and I kind of feel insulted because they think that they know better than me when I've been reading this shit for since I was a kid. So, and I don't know, man. Some of these characters are who they are just in name and maybe somewhat appearance, but other than that, man, they don't even act the way they're supposed to act. So it's just it's hard for me to just give a fuck, man. But I want to be honest in what we talk about too, man. So I got to figure it out, man.
What I've come to, I'm still trying to figure it out. Like I didn't see Loki, I didn't see Black Widow, so I didn't do reviews on them because I didn't see them. I would talk about news that's relevant, talked about the box office and shit like that. But I'm not going to talk about the core, and I may talk about. I thought about doing a video about the Taskmaster thing, but it's probably too late for that. but I'm not gonna talk about what I don't know.
Right.
And that's the thing. And I got to be honest with that. You know, I don't know this. I didn't see that.
Right.
But at the same time, so that's all I could do. Like, part of me wish I would have watched Loki and Falcon and the Winter Soldier and just kept, reviewing stuff. Cause I started off. I think I did WandaVision reviews. I know I did. I'm pretty sure I did WandaVision reviews.
I watched
WandaVision.
I'm with you. I watched WandaVision, and I did watch Falcon and Winter Soldier, and they both upset me to the point I couldn't review them, man. Because I'd be complaining too much, man, and fuck, I didn't even want to waste the energy to do it. But it bothered me because, like, right next to me, I got like the Avengers and West Coast Avengers comics with Vision, when he turned white and all, I got those storylines, and there's actually 2 or 3 stories put together to, or actually about 3 or 4, House of M and a bunch of other stuff that they put together. You can see different elements from different storylines within the whole show, but then it's like, it just seems convoluted, man. And it's like I said, man, I know better, man, because I read this shit, and it's like, it's insulting to see how it turns out, and it just end up being a flop, man. In my eyes, my opinion, man.
Yeah. Steve, what do you think about what we're talking about, especially the how do you cover it if you don't feel like fucking watching it? You know what I mean? That's been a huge issue.
What you doing is doing a different rabbit hole. You gotta start looking for things that make you happy. Talk about what could make you happy, and end it there without going to a negative discussion.
Yeah,
it's draining. Look at 24. I'll go 24 in general. We can see him on camera right now. When we started the show, he was smiling, he was cool, he was getting along with the jokes. He had a pleasant vibe to him. We've gone through. No. I'm showing a.
I'm not laughing at you, but you're right.
And then you look at this, and then now you can apply this to every YouTube video that does a stream. Every time you see a stream, we're going to talk about the same type of things, different story, whatever. The thing is, we don't know when to stop with the good, and then the bad just drains the fuck out of us. So by the time we actually get to a story that might be good or something that might be beneficial to make it cheer up the whole chat or get people talking, we don't have the energy to promote that happiness. We are at a point now where no matter what we hear when it comes to comic books, franchises, shit we grew up with, shit we love, whatever it is draining to talk about because we're apprehensive. It's draining to talk about because we don't want to care anymore, but we care because we grew up with it. So it's a double-edged sword, and they're abusing our care not just to get hype in a positive manner. They're abusing our care in the negative manner as a publicity stunt. You are literally being a billboard. All of us are without even realizing it. And that's why I only play video games. That's why I do 90% of the time video games where I'm talking about Babylon 5 or talking about a random movie once in a while. I just don't fucking care. And that's the thing. I can still care about my Pops, even though people bash Funko Pops. I still have all the ones I love, all my Spider-Man ones. 24 still getting his comics. Vigilante, you're still enjoying your music. Whatever else you collect, same thing. Right. Start thinking about at least doing a show a week where you're talking about something that's making you happy. And that's why 24 is so much fun when he's showing the comics he just got. Or Vigilante is just giving his personal point of view of stuff. That is where YouTube needs to change, and that's where we have to change. And this starts with stop acknowledging the negativity of these fucking articles. This is why I don't do clickbait shit. And sure, I might not grow. Sure, we might not all grow. But I am not going to waste energy where I'm unhappy for the rest of the day or ruins my sleep at night. I don't need that. Nobody needs that.
I agree. And honestly, what attracted me to this show, it's funny. We covered all the stories we covered. I didn't see, anywhere, but it's still, no matter what, once you start thinking critical, I started off excited about the Batmobile. Oh, Michael Keaton. Second, you start thinking like this is going to be a fucking failure. You know what I mean? And it's like I want to be like that's why I compared it to being a Lions fan. It's like I know that they're probably not going to make the playoffs this year, but the season hasn't started. Every now and again, they make the playoffs. Maybe this is going to be our year. I can convince myself before I see it, it's going to be better than what it is. And then when it actually shows up, it is what it is. Like, I really wish I could just be excited about Michael Keaton returning and Tobey Maguire returning to their respective franchises. Those are things that I would love to be positive about as far as upcoming stuff. Even this Hulk thing that we really, we talked around it, but I would like to see the Red Hulk. I would like to see an actual She-Hulk, but I don't think we're going to get actual She-Hulk. We're going to get a they-them Hulk. That they call She-Hulk, where Hulk just looks like, she just looks just like Hulk with a wig on, and has no femininity to him, totally mooting the point of the fucking character. And they already bought She-Hulk. They should have already introduced Jessica Waters. Like she should have already been on Daredevil as a lawyer.
Yeah,
should have already introduced her.
Yeah, they're gonna have that reversed where Matt Murdock's gonna show up on her show because she's gonna be the lawyer, and it's supposed to be a comedy. So that's another thing. I'm wondering how they're gonna pull it off to be a comedy. So it's gonna be a comedy courtroom drama, like a night court. But then you're talking about a super powered lawyer, and the people on both sides of the court are going to be heroes and villains. Either the hero's going to be in trouble for something, or it's going to be the villains being prosecuted for being bad guys. So, then you got to wonder if it's going to be a courtroom full of villains and heroes, who's going to be the bailiff? Who's going to be the judge? And they got to be somewhat high powered too, to a degree, for the simple fact that it just can't be no regular dude in the room with a bunch of superheroes and villains that can get out of hand. So, you're trying to find out, like, how is this supposed to be funny? How is it supposed to work, man? It's like there's a whole bunch of different elements, and yeah, of course we saw it in the comic book, but then they're talking about comic book is what 24 to 27, 28 pages, and you're talking about maybe a 30-minute to an hour, or however long they do shows now. What is it?
30
maybe
hour.
Yeah, 30 minutes to an hour.
45 minutes.
Yeah, maybe 6 episodes, because now the episodes are getting shorter and shorter. They don't do
with Disney Plus,
they don't do 12. Yeah, they don't do 16. They do 6 episodes, man. So, I'm just curious to see what it looks like, man. So I'm definitely, they're already race swapping with that. So it's like even the stuff that you want to give a chance to, you got to be cautious, man. And I'm gonna have to look at some of this stuff, man, whether I like it or not. And it's just to be honest about the assessment, man, and just see how it is. Again, I do. And I know it's gonna bother me, but I gotta brace myself, man, for the hit, man. So, comic book collectors, man, I don't even know how I'm gonna watch it without trying to give it the click. I'm just gonna have to. I guess I'm gonna have to just give it the click, man, because it's it's here. So,
yeah, I mean, I was in a similar boat because like I don't pay for Disney Plus, but someone in my family does, so I get it for free basically.
I'm the same way, yeah.
And it's like I could watch it, but that's what I was doing for WandaVision and the Mandalorian.
Me too. And I was doing that for the WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier. And it did nothing but upset me, man. So it's like, but even then, man, I'm just trying to see what good is going to come out of this. If anything's better going to happen, and it's one of those things that is, as much as we hear about it and we know what we're hearing is true, we got to wait to see how it happens. And just first, of course, we're going to know better once it goes down. But I'm not asking for nobody to support, anything or whatever. We all got to be our own judge of watching this stuff. And I'm not gonna, I know, because I make the videos. Anybody that knows me and watches my videos, I'm making the videos and I'm calling all of that shit out. But it's for the simple fact that I got love for it, man, and I just hate to see the things that I enjoy get done the way they're getting done. But I still got to see whether it's going to be a train wreck or it's going to be something successful. I got to see it through. I got to see Black Adam through. I've been talking about Black Adam ever since I started my channel. And the movie's coming out next year. And I've been talking about production. I've been talking about all the other stuff, his suit, everything else. I got to see it through, man. And I got to see the Flash through. And I got to see what's going to happen with the Snyderverse. And even I don't support Zack Snyder because of his bullshit and everything else. I still got to see what's going to happen at the end, because I still love Superman. Henry Cavill is still a decent actor. And there's other things and I'm torn between this because, I love the properties, but sometimes I don't like the people that are making it or how things are presented in some of these movies, but I still got to see it through, man. Cause I don't want to, I want to be honest with y'all and be upfront about my assessment instead of, like I say, talking about it from a distance, looking and pointing instead of just being, like everybody else, man. We got the bigger channels that'll sit there and stomach the watch, I'm gonna have to do the same, man. And I just know there's a lot of shit coming, man, and it's not going to be this year. Well, Black Widow, I don't talk about Black Widow in my videos because she wasn't something that I was looking forward to watching, so I didn't mention anything about her except for what's going on between yesterday and today about the movie. The owners, the people that own the movie theaters are complaining about what's going on because basically the streaming services are taking the business away from the movie theaters because of how they projected they were going to do 2021, where everything's going to go to streaming first or probably be in the theaters for a month and then go to streaming. You know, it doesn't give anybody a chance to make any money. And basically everything falls in favor of Disney or Warner Brothers, whoever's putting out the movies. But what favor does that fall into, you know, for the movie theaters that have to view, you know, that have to show it, and not enough people are going to go watch it? Because the thing is, the difference is from way back then to what's going on now is because if any movie that came out had only two ways of coming out, whether it was straight to VHS or straight to DVD, or it came out in the theaters, or probably the third thing is if it was black marketed, like somebody ripped it or, you know, sold it. You know, that's the only three ways you were watching it. There was no hit the streaming service first. Now that's a part of what's going on now, the movie theaters are wondering, well, how you guys made a deal with this, but we still can't survive the hit because people are going to watch it through y'all before they watch it through us.
That's an interesting thing.
Yeah, that's
a whole thing. Because, like, okay, I think when they first did the HBO Max and they announced we're going to be doing the dual thing where we show it the same day on streaming for theaters, I thought that none of these movies would make even what they made. I didn't think we would have $80 million movies, $70 million movies, $50 million. I didn't think we would have that, but we did. Yeah. We had Fast and the Furious. We had even Godzilla vs. Kong early. That was kind of the first one to kind of get a solid number. It was A Quiet Place 2, and obviously Black Widow, which who knows if there was some Disney magic with those numbers. But a lot of people still came out, at least that first weekend, to see, a lot of people want to go to see the fucking theater. Even Space Jam making $30 million. I didn't think that would make $30 million. I really didn't. But people just like, I just got to go to theaters. Right. I do think that experience is something that people still want to do. Like, we've been cool. You think people want to, they just want to stream. No. They've been streaming for a year and a half. They want to get out of their fucking houses. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So, but these companies and they've been shitting on these theaters for a while. They've been taking more and more and more and more and more. And it's like, listen, if you destroy the theaters as an institution, you're not going to get that money back from streaming. It's not going to come back that way.
That's true. Yeah, man. I mean, and you're right. You do have people that do want to go to the theaters, and then you have those that still don't mind sitting at home for the simple fact that, look, they're not. Look, when you stream something at home, you don't have HBO Max or Disney Plus asking you how many heads are they counting to to see how many people they need to charge. Basically, it's one charge covers everybody. So you can have a whole, you can have a watch party. No, not a watch party. Yeah, basically a watch party. Have everybody, invite everybody over, have a party. Everybody sit down, watch the movie at your house instead of everybody going to the theaters and everybody spending their own money. They can put in $3 a piece and come off watching this thing and have, and do it at the enjoyment of their houses. And then you have those that do miss the theater going experience. They miss the popcorn. They miss the people. They miss all the shit that starting the movie and that theater smell and all that shit, and they just miss the whole experience, man. The little 2 or 3 games, if they have a little arcade in there, the different snacks, and even though a lot of that shit is overpriced or whatever, it's just the experience of just going out and doing it. And it was something that people could relate to because they used to do it with families and different things like that. And man, it's changed, and and some people miss it, man. And so you're gonna have both. Basically, you're gonna have people that want to go because they miss it, and you're gonna have people that want to stay at home because it'll save them money and don't got to deal with whatever the fuck's out there.
I like cake.
Shout out to cake. Yeah, Zach 7 has the point, and I don't know if you guys ready that because we've been over 2 hours and I'm getting a little tired myself.
Yeah.
But he says they may not want to go out if the experience isn't as good. That's really the bottom line. I think right now for this year, Hollywood can kind of toss anything out. Normies will just go see it.
Right.
But they're not gonna. Eventually, they're gonna be like, I don't want to go through this process because it's not that good. I'm going. I went to go see Mortal Kombat, and I did not like the movie. You know what I mean? But I was happy to go to the theater. I was happy to go get popcorn. But it's like, I haven't really been back to the theater. It's a movie I could have seen, but it's like, if you're not going to see a good movie, what's the point of going through all this? And they're not really the fact that they've made the money they've made this year has been all on the strength of Cabin Fever. It hasn't been because these are really high quality movies. I haven't seen Quiet Place or actually Fast and the Furious and Black Widow, so I can't really say. But people just want to get out, and so hopefully there's some good material is going to be made. Like I said, nobody's perfect, so you cannot be perfectly terrible. You cannot screw up everything, even if you try.
Right. Well, they say this year is basically shot. They say next year is when we're going to start getting everything. Everything's going to be ramped back up to even more so than now. That one year of streaming everything on your streaming services first or whatever, all that's going to end. And they say next year is when a lot of the movies that people are looking forward to coming and watching, they're going to hit for 2022. They said this year is gone. As far as an enjoyable movie and the movie going experience with something that you really want to watch, you're going to get a lot of half-ass. You're going to get Black Widows, and you're going to get your Space Jam 2s. But as far as like a real, something that you'll want to go to the theater to watch, that's next year. This year is this year. It is what it is, man. Everybody kind of made their deals. Well, HBO Max and Warner Brothers did their thing. Disney Plus did what they were going to do. And basically everybody got to finish out their commitment for the year. And basically next year is where it's going to be ramped up to have better movies and hopefully a better movie going experience.
Well, we will see. We will see.
Yeah. So, right now is, if you guys want, go for about 5 more minutes and, finish it out. Want to go over one more thing or kind of finish out on final thoughts.
Final thoughts. We need to focus on more happy shit. Fuck the angry shit. Fuck the criticism. Honestly, I feel drained, and honestly, I think we have a formula to do something even more so. Let's try next week if that's okay. You got great articles, you got great stories, but let's end it on our hopes of what it could be, and then what we can do is even a follow-up from someone that they actually were wrong, and then you can do the negative, so you can actually see if you can do an up and down, see if it balances out. Maybe I'm wrong on this.
Another thing we could do, and I've been wanting to do, is just pick good stuff that we like to recommend to people that maybe we saw.
Lots of porn.
Yeah,
there you go.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, this is this is our first show together, and we're definitely gonna look back at this and see what we'll do better, and definitely apply for the next show and do things, and but we had to talk about some things and kind of let things out, and but it's we're not in here for the dim and grim. We're here to talk about a lot of other things, like I say. And of course, with the speed that we went through with the articles, we'll go through them in a more timely fashion. And like I said, this is we're getting a feel for being together, but it's a good thing. And we got a lot of great things coming for the future. So like I say, this is just our first episode, but it's the first of many. And we got a great group of people here in the chat. I love everybody on the channel. Vigilante, Steven. They're great people, and I couldn't have seen myself doing this any other way. So I'm thankful. And like I said, there's a lot of good things coming, but of course with that, there's going to be a whole flip side of things, but we're going to try to focus more on the better shit. And of course, other things are going to be discussed, but we'll cover that when we get to it. But we just want to show y'all what else is out there and kind of talk about other things, other than what we normally talk about or listen to or read. And I'm just glad that we're all able to come together to do it. So
I agree.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited, man.
All right. Are you about ready to get out of here?
Yeah, y'all can plug in your channels and we can talk about what's going on. What you got next? And that'd be that'd be great. I definitely want to hear it.
Comic Book Roundtable tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow on your channel.
That's right. That's right. Tomorrow we'll be back here at my channel to do the Comic Book Roundtable with Erisa Chaos, Stone Loki, and my boy Clobbering Times, along with Fat Steven Seagal, and our guest will be Vigilante Williamson. So it'll be awesome. We'll definitely be starting at 7:00 Central Time. So I can't wait. I'm excited. It'll be my first time hosting it, and shit, anything goes. So I'm with it. So, yep, let's turn it up, have a good time, and I'm excited. So. You guys,
Zach said he wants to add it on his list. Everybody add this show on the list. Please come back next week.
Yeah,
it'll be on 24/7. We're gonna keep it on his channel because I think you guys are doing the comic book roundtable. It is hard for me as a normie to keep track on what channel. I think it's simpler unless you have only two people where you can just guess. If it's just you get multiples, it starts to like move. So next week, 24/7 Fusion Media, same bat time, same bat channel. We will be doing this again, and maybe a little bit more positive. We aim for positivity. We really did. We really did.
Yeah, we did. We
really did. But
take all his money.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we'll work on it. And the first of many, man. And I'm just thankful to have everybody here. Steve, let them know what you got going on, man, because you got a lot of great shit going on your channel.
Oh, jeez.
No, I'm kidding. That means a woman had to see me naked first. No, nothing. Comic Book Roundtable. Pretty much gaming streams in the morning. Like it's the same routine. Pretty much, I can't promise anything because it's taking care of the dad at this point.
Yeah,
fucking get shit together.
Good luck with that, man. Seriously,
I have no idea.
What about you, Vigilante?
I got videos to work on because I haven't done enough for my channel, and so that's why I'm a little anxious to wrap because I got another 3 or 4 hours of shit to do. Videos I got to do, but come out with a couple of videos for tomorrow, and then finish editing this review that's taken like my entire life. So that stuff, and then so I'll be back here Tuesday, Wednesday. The Culture Crime Fighters, maybe having a special guest, maybe. It's tentative. And then just trying to release more videos throughout the week, and so I'm going to be posting more short content out the week. So that's what I have. So if you haven't subbed to me, please do. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, there you go. Thank you all for being here. My name is 24/7. This channel is 24/7 Fusion Media. My co-host, Fat Steven Seagal, Vigilante Williamson. We all want to tell you all thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here. We are the Primetime Kings, and we'll see you back here on Monday. Same bad time, same bad channel. You all take care of yourselves. Enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your evenings. And like I say, just look for things to be better and better as we keep going, and sky's the limit. We love y'all. We thank y'all, and we'll look forward to seeing y'all next time. Peace.
Peace, everybody.
I have gas.
Yeah.